في بوا ددبتي النقد بانك مكلاكيا شو أوساسا أربع منشي ولايتا والديا أديس أبا شو درجة وفاسلي بابو ناجما غنانيو كادما شو አይችሏት ማዳማን አይችሏት ማዳማን አይችሏት ማዳማን ይሾ አሻ አዲያዳማ አጀሳ ጀሳ የሊባንበሳ የትንደጫወች ውጤቱን አምጪ ውጤቱን አምጪ ምንመጣ ያሸንፋል ምንመጣ ማንም ያሸንፋል አዳማ ፎክሮ ፎክሮ ማንም መጣ ፎክሮ ቢመጣ ማንም መጣ የአዳማ ደጋፊ ማንም መጣ ፈጽሞ አይቆጣ ማንም መጣ ፍቅር ነው ልማዱ ማንም መጣ እንብላ እንጠጣ ማንም መጣ ዮ እኙን ዱፌ ኒሞ እታ አዳማ ዮ እኙን ዱፌ ኒሞ እታ አዳማ ፎክሮ ፎክሮ ማንም መጣ ፎክሮ ቢመጣ ማንም መጣ የአዳማ ደግ ማንም መጣ ፈጽሞ አይቆጣ ማንም መጣ ፍቅር ነው ልማዱ ማንም መጣ እንብላ እንጠጣ ማንም መጣ ዮ ምንም መጣ ማንም መጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ ዮ ምንም መጣ ማንም መጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ ባርሴሎና ማድሪድ ማንቸስተር አርሰናል ኤሲ ሚላን ኢንተር ሚላን ኢሾ ሙኒክ ዶርትሞንድ ሊቨርፑል ቼልሲ ፒኤስጂ ሞናኮ ኢሾ አድዬና ችሏትም እኮ ኢሾ አሻማ አዲያዳማ አጀሳ የሊባንበሳ የትንተጫወች ውጤቱን አምጪ ምንመጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ ዮ ምንመጣ ማንም መጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ ፎክሮ ማንም መጣ ፎክሮ ወሎማ ፉና ዮና እልልደና ወሎማ ፎክሮ ቢመጣ ማንም መጣ የአዳማ ደጋፊ ማንም መጣ ፈጽሞ አይቆጣ ማንም መጣ ፍቅር ነው ልማዱ ማንም መጣ እንብላ እንጠጣ ማንም መጣ ዮ ምንም መጣ ማንም መጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ ዮ ምንም መጣ ማንም መጣ ያሸንፋል አዳማ መጣለችና ተነሳ ወበል ደጋፊ ሁላችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ሁሉ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አዴ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 ኦሆ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አዴ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አዴ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ውጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 ኦሆ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አዴ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ውጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 ኦሆ ኦሆ መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አደይ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ውጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውጭ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውጭ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 ኦሆ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አደይ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 የውጤት ቡድን ውጨዋታችን ባርሳ ነው ባርሳ አዴ አንበሳ አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ቡድናችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ቡድኑ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ 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 ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 አዴ 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 አዳማ በድል ጎዳና ተጉዛ መታለችና ተነሳ ጎበል ደጋፊ ሁላችን ሁሌ አሸናፊ ኦሆ 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 ደጋፊው ጀግና ሁሉ ገናና አሸናፊ ነን ማንም አይችለን ኦሆ ልጆችሽ ተሰባስበናል ለውጤት ለድል ቆመናል ለአዳማ የለንም ምርጫ ዘንድሮ ዋንጫ ነው ዋንጫ 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 ስጪ ስጦታ በውብ ጨዋታ የፉትቦል ብልጫ የሊጉን ዋንጫ 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 ኦሆ 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 አርማለን መለያ አርማ ሁላችን አዴ ከነማ ምንጊዜ ድል ነው ልማዴ ክለቤ አዳማ አዴ 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 በሳንጃው ሙሉ አርማችን መለያችን ሳንጂዬ ኩራታችን ሰው እንዳይሰማ ላውድ ላይ ነሽ ዛሬ ላውድ ላይ ነሽ ማን ነው ምን ነው ጆሮዬና መቼ በሳንጃው ሙሉ ነፃለን አርማችን መለያችን ነው ሳንጂዬ ኩራታችን ነው አርማችን መለያችን ነው ሳንጂዬ ኩራታችን ነው ክብርና ሞገሱን የተላበሰው ወረኛ ቡድናችን ጊዮርጊስ ነው እናደ አበባ ከዓመት ዓመት ፈክቶ ስንት ታሪክ ሰራ ደጋፊን አኩርቶ ማንም አይደርስብን አለን ብዙ ብልጫ ገና እንቀጥላለን አንጠግብም ዋንጫ እናሸንፋለን 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 በሳንጃው ሙሉ ነፃለን በሳንጃው ሙሉ ነፃለን አርማችን መለያችን ነው ሳንጂዬ ኩራታችን ነው አርማችን መለያችን ነው ሳንጂዬ ኩራታችን ነው በፋሽስት ተገፎ ጠላችን ድል መንሻ አምስቱ ተገኘ ጊዮርጊስ ከሀበሻ ወኔ ተላበሰ ኩራት ሆነ ላገር ስንት
ታሪክ ጽፏል ያኔ በባዶግ ቀደም ታሪካዊው ድል አድራጊ ጊዮርጊስ ዛሬም ደምቆ ታየ የሰው አንጀት ሲያርስ ጊዮርጊስ ገለባችን የናገሪ መስከር ሁሉ ስላንቻውራ ሳንጃው አሸናፊነት ካድማስ አድማስ ያብራ ሳንጃው ወደ በሰሰብኝ የዋንጫ ጉተራ ልዩነህ በልብ ሌላው አይወራ ወደ በሰሰብኝ የዋንጫ ጉተራ አንበሳንም በልብ ሌላው አይወራ ልዩነህ አንበሳ መኩሪያነ ማጌጫ ምወድ ከልብ ሳንትዬ ክለብ የኛ ነው ጨዋታ የኛ ነው ዋንጫው ሃምሳው የኛ ነው ኩራቱ የኛ ነው ሞገሱ የኛ ነው ልዩነህ አንበሳ መኩሪያነ ማጌጫ ምወድ ከልብ ሳንትዬ ክለብ የኛ ነው ጨዋታ የኛ ነው ዋንጫው የኛ ነው ሞገሱ የኛ ነው ኩራቱ የኛ ነው 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 የኛ ነው
መስተኛው አምስት ጊዜ አይቻልም። ትምህርት ጊዜ ነው ነበር ያኔ ምርጡ 94 ላይ ዘን ያውን አይታል ያውንም አይቻልም። አራን በሏል ይሄ እርግጠኛ ዝሎ
አስታው 1995 የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪምየር ሊግ ዋንጫ
እኔ 95 በጣም ደስ የሚለኝ ነገር 95 የበላላት ዋንጫ ትደኛለች።
ዋንጫው ሁለት ቦታ ተዘጋጀ። አርባ ምንጭ ላይ መብላት ይችላል፣ ጊዮርጊስ ላይ መብላት ይችላል። ሁለት ስቴዲየም ኳስ እየተካሄደ ነው። እኛ ደግሞ ከተቀናቃኛችን ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጋር እየተጫወትን ነው።
በጣም ደስ የሚለኝ 95 ለአንተ ልዩ ልትሆን ልዩ የሆነችብኝ ሰዓት በጣም ሰዓቱ እያለቀ ባለቀ ሰዓት አግኝተን ያሸነፍንባት ዋንጫ ነች። በዛ ላይ ዝናብ እየተደበደብን ምናምን
አዲስ አበባ ስቴዲየም ወዲ ጫለው ዋንጫው ካለቀ 40 ምንጭ ዛሬ ተጨፈረ ዋንጫ መቀበል ተመለ 33 ሰከንድ እሺ ያ 33 ሰከንድ
ነበር ያገባው ማን ነበር ገዳዳው ሰጥያ የኤሪክ እሱ ያገባት ጎል በዛ ሰዓት የጭንቅ ሰዓታችን እስከዛሬ እሱ ምን አይነት ነበር ማለት
በብቃት ተጀመረ በብቃት ተጨረሰ በጎልስ አሸናፊ
و17 دقيقه من زمن الشوط الثاني وتمريره وحشه قوي من صلاح سليمان وادي الراجل وتصويبه وهدف بيدي لا بيد عمرو اوكروي اللي عمل
كرة خطيرة لفريق سان جورج جول سان جورج إذا عن طريق صلاح الدين سعيد يتمكن من تسجيل الهدف الأول
የምነግርህ የእለቱ ዳኛ በተለያየ በቴስታ ወር ደግሞ የሆነ የሚያጠራጥር አይነት ጎል እንኳን ቢሆን ጎል ብሎ ያጸድቀውም ነበር የነበረው ያን ያህል የወረደ ነበር። እኔ በህይወቴ ዳኝነት አይቻለሁ እንደዚህ የወረደ ዳኛ።
ጅማ አባጅፋር ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን በግብ ክፍያ በልጦ የ2010 የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪምየር ሊግ ሻምፒዮን ሆነ።
የክለቡ የማህበራዊ ትስስር ገጽ ዘገበ።
ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አዲስ አበባ ከተማ ዋንጫ ለስድስተኛ ጊዜ አነሳ። ሶስት ለአንድ አሸንፎ ለስድስተኛ ጊዜ የአዲስ አበባ ከተማን ዋንጫ ማንሳት ችሏል። እንግዲህ
ትናንት ፍጻሜውን ሲያገኝ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ከሰበታ ከተማ ለዋንጫ ሽሚያ ያቀርበዋል። ለወትሮም ቢሆን አዲስ አበባ ስታዲየምን የሚነጠው የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ደጋፊ ትናንትም ዝናብና ብርድ ሳይበግራቸው ክለባቸውን አበረታቷል።
በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ አሜን። የአባቶቻችን አምላክ የቸርነት ባለቤት ቸሩ እግዚአብሔር ከዚህ ሰዓት ከዚህ ዕለት ስላደረሰን ቅዱስ ስሙ የተመሰገነ ይሁንና ለእናንተም እንደሚገባችሁ በአምላካችን በእግዚአብሔር ሰላምታ እንዴት ሰነበታችሁ? እንዴት ዋላችሁ? ቸርነቱ ምሕረቱ ይቅርታው ለዘላለም የባህሪ ገንዘቡ የሆነ ቸሩ መድኃኔዓለም የባህሪ አባቱ አብ የባህሪ ሕይወቱ መንፈስ ቅዱስ አምላክነቱ እንደሚገባ እመቤታችን ቅድስት ድንግል አምላክ ማርያም በመስቀሉ ቅድስት ቤተክርስቲያኑ ያከበራቸው ቅዱሳን ሁሉ ስማቸው የተመሰገነ ይሁን። እንኳን አደረሳችሁ። ቸሩ መድኃኔዓለም ከእመቤታችን ድንግል ማርያም ከበረከተ ኪዳና ካከበርናቸው ከምናከብራቸው በዓላት ሁሉ ጸጋ በረከት ለሁላችንም የሚያሳትፈን አሜን። እንኳን አደረሳችሁ። ዛሬ ደህና ናችሁ? መቼም ሳምንት አጥብቄ ስለተናገርኩ ያው የሀገሬ ሰው አደራ ታውዛብኝ ታሰናክለኛለህ ይላል። አደራ ሲበዛ አስቸጋሪ ሰው አንድ ነገር ሲሰቀል ይጠፋበታል የሚል ግምት ስላለ ነው። ለሁሉም እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ። ቤተክርስቲያን ናት እንዲህ ያለቻችሁ እንኳን ደህና ቆይሽኝ ብሏል። እኔማ እንደናንተ እየመጣሁ ነው።
ምን በዛ ይስራ ላሽ ማለት ነው እሱ ላሽ ማለት ነው ብራታ አላጣው እሱማ አይዲያውን ነው ማንም አይመጣም ያለውስ ኦኬ ደግሞ ቪዲዮ መስለካ ቸገርሽ አንተ ግን ለምን ነው ተተማከራ ጎዳናው ቆጆን መውጣት አለብቻው እና አንተ ምን ማለት አለብሽ Depois de pensar. Depois de chamar me chamar assim não me pensar. Forma vai. India ini program. India. Ane lato tadi situation pada kalau kamu kurang perlu. What is my love? should I never do it? Who's the last time you did talk? Nick? As your hand is last over to look. Now. Tell me, I'm about to get to know this. Aracı brada, ağır şey, muye marka tokaptan bits ligada no. Ini nanti karena pokoknya brada, betul mah betul. እነሳሚ ምናምን ቤት አላቸው እነሳሚ ለዛ ነው የመጀመሪያ የቲሸርት እነሳሚ ምናምን ቤት አላቸው ገዝቶ ምን ያደርጋል እነዚህ ቻለ ለቀራናው ጌቶች አራታው ለቀጡ ሰላም ይዛራው ቤት ተስካለ ፈልጋለ ቤት
ማለት ነው መጡብኝ እያለ ነው ሲስተምን አየው የላኩልኝ ባለፈው ብዙ ሞጁል ነው ያለው ከታች ደርበው ደውሎ ሊያቀር እንደምን እንደሆነ አላውቅም እኔ ጋር አስተገናኝተናል ምን ያስተምራል ብለን ዝም ብሎ ታይቶ ይሆናል ይቀርባል ጀምሯል መሰለኝ ይሆናል
Sides with each looking for consistency. The fight between the central and the south. Fasil Kenema takes on Zeki as Adama Ketema faces Hawassa Ketema. Chesa. Idiot Face is the official in charge of today's game. Huge fixture is on our hands. 6 up against Spad. 2 giants separated by just 6 points. It's very, very close. The fans have travelled from the south to here in the east. The other set has travelled from the central to the east as well. They battle for bragging rights. They search for supremacy. It is on in Dredawa this very evening. The Betking Ethiopian Premier League continues to gather momentum here on the World of Champions. Fasil Ketema has made just one change since that 3-1 victory over Dredawa. Tadele Mengeshe comes into the midfield for Joseph Yohannes. Otherwise, Jamal Chasso, Million Solomon, Thomas Sibretu and Adi Stetspai will be in a solid back four as Fasil Ketema goes in for 3 central defenders in there. Just Yohannes and Shadow Jacob will play on either wing to support Dawa Hutesa, who scored twice on match day 14. And Muhammad will be partnering him up front. As Emmanuel Gobena, Zeki operate through the center. Fasil Ketema has gone for a 3-5-2, hoping to dominate the midfield against a very dominant Hawassa Ketema. And as the right Muru, they have swept so many big giants away. Suddenly surprised everyone. The lighter day says for the future for today's game as Mustafa and Fasika will be helping out Lydia Tafese. He's officiating her second game during this bubble here in Dredawa. Legendary lady at the center. A huge impact.
From Ahmed Mohammed was just dropped
the ball in between two centre backs, but that in itself, Mohamed Montari just failing to put his eyes focus on the ball. That's a golden miss. It is a golden miss because should the carrier had put just his right foot on it, it could have taken a different trajectory. If there was a touch from Hamad Muntari on the carrier Skipede, maybe at a face would probably have pointed to the penalty spot. Anyway, here comes Adama now, looking to have a better start to this game. It is Testo Yohannes, delivers one into the area. They are looking for crucial touches. Goes out wide to Million Solomon. Almost everyone in blue is back and defending in numbers, apart from Biruk Bayene. 2 up front for Adama, 3 up front for Hawassa. It's a blockbuster. I mean, in between the Adama players, in between Ami and Dawa, they have 7 goals.
But you look at on the other side, between Mesfin Tefese, Biruk Beyene, and Ephraim Ashamo, they have 13 goals. 5 for Tefese, 5 for Biruk, and 3 for Ashamo. That's a potentially explosive striking force.
To the center, Tadele Mengesha. Quickly going through Jamil Yakov. This is the captain, Dawa Jessa, into striking range. Dawa Jessa continues with the movement through the center. A very good defensive work from Mesfin Tefese.
The Hawassa striker is inside his own area, trying to make sure he picks possession of Dawa Jessa. They know how dangerous he is. He was trying to rush into spaces where he can let fly. Ame Muhammad, the control as he's under pressure from Adi Salim Tesfai. That will be a goal kick for Hawassa. And that's from Dawa Jessa. Very good defensive work from Hani Birhani because they do know. Give him space and you're in trouble, my friend.
But away from, again, very, very good goalkeeping by Jamal Tassel. Already sending signals on how dangerous he can be.
Good chance. Here is Bekalu floating another one into the box. Missed by almost everyone until Ephraim Ashamo floats another one to Wandi Market. He's looking for a big touch through the center. The youngster Wandi Market Hairo does not seem to have connected right, but they are creating the chances earlier on.
Well, they need to put checks and balances on that youngster. The only player on the field out of the two who has luminous green shoes. They need to put out on those luminous green shoes on the blue side.
He's been part of the goals recently. Wandi Market Hairo, apart from scoring, he did certainly help in getting a penalty in their last fixture as well. He's a man on fire, a youngster in the midfield trying to impress pretty much everyone. She's taken quickly by Thomas Simretu to Desta Yohannes. This is Ame Muhammad now. Look at how much space he's got in and around him. Ame Muhammad brings the shorter one into the area. He's been taken out by Tsegasel Berhan. Abdul Basit Kemal always coming back to make sure he helps with the rest of the back four. It's going to be a very busy custodian in that center as he is up against 5. It's going to be up against Emmanuel Gobena, Zacharias Kebede, Jamil Yacob Desta Yohannes alongside Tadele Mengeshe. It's a packed midfield. And you can understand where Fasil Kenema is coming from. He's up against the Hawassa Ketema team that has already won big games against the likes of Ethiopia Buna and Fasil Kenema.
Absolutely, and he has very, very fast runners and youngsters in Mesfin Tefese, Wodimagan Hailo. Wodimagan Hailo on 2 balls to his credit. Of course, running the midfield for Hawassa Ketema. And the best thing is to try and lock that midfield and just allow the other members to try and ply the trade on the wider areas.
Sadama's chance now, and the captain is standing over it. Dawa Hotesa. Jamil Yacob alongside Thomas Simretu have all come forward. This is a long one picked up by Muntari. And he's right in there. Looked to have been a bit dangerous. Some Adama players are thinking he probably stepped on Adis Tesfai. Is it? Seems to be on the ground. Certainly going through a lot of pain. He had 2 players in and around him. Thomas Simret was the other. Adama player that was looking for position up in the air. Should have to look at it again, but it looked quite dangerous from Muhammad Mutari, even though it looks very unintentional from first view.
He is already in control of the ball. He is in control of the ball. Of course, now the stability is not there, and he has to start moving backwards. And surely there was nothing intentional there, really.
Adis Tesfai. He's the player on the receiving end of Mohamed Muntari's stamp. Unintentional, should make that clear. Zeki at a Fasil. So they're showing a yellow card, I think, to Million Solomon. Ali caution then to the Adama defender. He's playing in a back three. He's got to be very careful now. A bit of a warning to his captain as well, Tesa, telling him to figure out what to tell his players. Everyone must stay calm as Muntari brings us into action again. Simretu battling with Medhan Berhane. Medhan seems to suddenly be the one who was expecting a free kick from this situation, but Thomas Simretu gets it.
Well, he actually got the ball and also ended up in the rib cage of Medhan Berhane.
Been given away to Biruk Beyene. Picked up again by Jamil Yacob. Trying to find Ame Mohammed, but very good defending from Medhane, who's going to have to be very busy today. This comes back to Jamil Tasso. Short one to Thomas Simretu. Good pressure coming in from the blue wall. Must are pressing so well, and Adama suddenly are doing even better in terms of breaking away, looking for Dawa Hotesa now. Long one going out wide. There was a run from Desta Yohannes. That surely has been one of their biggest undoing. The fact that Desta Yohannes and Jamil Yacob open up the field so wide, it's forcing Hawassa to have to operate on both ends, which is eventually leaving so much space in the midfield. To a referee, that was a foul from the not given. Must have just to come forward. That woman has had Fasil Kenema Adama. Last season is now in 6th position ahead of today's kickoff. Into the area, almost falling to Mesfin Tafesa. Couldn't turn right. Lucky, Jebautoso.
Well, again, you have to clear that ball. Two central defenders mistiming that ball and falling into path of Mesfin Tefese. They must have Desta Yohannes.
One more time. Floated in, then allowed to bounce just behind Thomas Simretu. Ephraim Ashamo could have finished. A very good involvement then from Jamal Jusso as it eventually fell to Mesfin Tefese. That was a big one. That was a big chance.
Oh, a huge one. Had Ephraim Ashamo just put his foot onto that ball or just been a second earlier than the goalkeeper, the result would be different.
Spekaru Genene to Medhane Berhane under pressure from Zekarias Kebede. Does well to come back to Bekalo. It's a brilliant ball looking for Biruk Beyene now. He's got to try and beat two. One of those is Adis Tesfai. Biruk does well to keep possession, but then quickly loses it to Zekarias Kebede. Now into midfield. Looking for Victor Tadlemengesha, who has come into the team today for Joseph Yohannes. An interesting spot where we are going to have to analyze the Adama Ketema quality in depth in terms of the options off that bench. Joseph Yohannes has been an ever-present player in that midfield. How Tadele Mengesha is in.
But it's just a question of what we call team rotation, giving other players an opportunity at least to give others rest.
Sunan Muhammad to find a way around Berhane. Did it once, didn't certainly get successful on the second attempt. Here's Jamil Yacob. Takes a long throw looking for Dawa Hotesa. It's been allowed to bounce by Daniel Deribe. Eventually picked up by Ephraim Ashamo under pressure from Desta Yohannes. He's looking for Biruk Beyene. Very good control from the lead striker, but then again quickly lost. It's an offside. Then Muhammad had the pinched camp inside the Hawassa Ketema area.
And from the onset, if you look at the way these teams have positioned themselves, looks like anytime that the ball is right in the middle, there are about 20 players in the same spot, and therefore it calls upon the third man running advantage to come into play. Because through the middle is impossible, but on the wider areas you'll always find the channel of 1 against 1.
It's been given again. Hamad tries to the foul on Ephraim Ashamo, heading in contact again with Muhammad, who is seeing so much of the ball in the opening 13 minutes here in Dredawa. Oh, that's a Adama strike. That doesn't seem very safe for Ephraim Ashamo. Of the few creative sparks in this Hawassa Ketema side. They've got so many options in and around him. Ndimagen Hailu, just like we said. The Karu Genene is equally brilliant, and that is really not counting Mesfin Biruk. Any other options they might look to have a squad that has the likes of Tebare Kefemo on the bench today. Is Dawit Tadese and the likes of Henok Dirby. All these have played so many minutes this season. They'll be looking to suddenly have their chances later on in the game. And Abubeka Wandimu is as well on the Adama bench. There's quality in there for Fasil Kenema.
Or they have Adisa Jamalu still sitting on the bench. Because with Joseph Yohannes, in case they want to solidify their midfield, a place that has been occupied by Zacharias Kevere today.
Yeah, there's so much quality in there. Jibril Ahmed is on the bench. Abubeka Wandimu is Nebir Nouri. And obviously Joseph Yohannes, who we've just been talking about. Daniel Deribe fronts one forward, looking for Biruk Bayene. It's cleared by Adis Tesfai. It's going to be hard for Biruk Bayene to get onto those aerial touches if he's competing with Thomas Simretu or Million Solomon or Adis Tesfai. He's not the tallest of strikers. He's got the pace. That easily could be Adama's strong card. As long as Hawassa are fronting those balls forward, they will have a chance. Because Biruk Bayene will have to wait for in and around passes that are defense splitting suddenly should be on the ground. Bekalu to Medhane. Abdur Basit Wansi. Ephraim Ashamo is awaiting. Eventually picks up possession and loses it again quickly to Tadele Mengesha. Now, long one looking for Dawa Hotesa, allowed to bounce just out of the Hawassa Ketema area. Muhammad Montari will have to be very careful. Had huge mistakes in the last game. Luckily for him, his team still won 5-2 in an interesting 5-goal thriller.
Well, if there's one thing that either team could be able to do in order to be able to unlock this one, is to try and play the diagonal passes. Because wherever there is a ball, there are so many numbers on both blue and red. And therefore, quick transition just from that particular point of view to try and switch the ball via the diagonal passes would definitely help, be able to help either Adama or Hawassa moving forward.
It's a free kick to be taken by Dawa Hotesa, the captain. There's a one-man wall that has been set up by Muhammad Muntari. Everyone for Adama pretty much coming forward. Dawa Hotesa, brilliant one into the area. The big man punches and then stays on the ground, but quickly gets up. And Muntari will have to be very careful on the far side as Ephraim Ashamo picks up possession now. He's closely watched out wide by Zacharias Kebede. It's floated into the area, looking for Mesfin and almost coming to Biruk Bayene. The flag had stayed down on both occasions. Very, very dangerous. Now Dawa Hotesa. Ahmed Muhammad in support. The Salem Tesfai giving him no space. It's an interesting offer. The counter-attack incident as we look at Ahmed Muhammad floating another one into the boxes. They picked up this time by Muhammad Muntari, who up to now is not happy with Lydia Tafese. He rushed off his line, trying to chase down, I think it was Adis Tesfai.
Yeah, he feels this is the second time that Tesfai has bumped into him. He's already in possession of the ball, and that is a bad tackle by Adis Tesfai. I think Muntari is right. Lydia should be able to take care of that.
Looking for stronger performances in the BetKing Ethiopian Premier League so he can get a call-up to Ghana's national side. Ahmad Muntari among the big list of West Africans to play their trade here in East Africa. A league that suddenly has gotten more and more attractive every passing season. And just to remind you, we are just days away now from the transfer window reopening here in Ethiopia. which means so many clubs will be looking to add quality to their starting 11s. And that pretty much should be every club, because when you go 15 games into the campaign, you start looking at the holes in your side.
Absolutely, and you also want to release the extra baggage that you've been carrying along. Because if you're a player and you've not played even once in 15 matches, then the coach should be thinking otherwise, whether to keep you or at least to release you and bring somebody else who can be able to add punch in terms of depth on the bench.
Zacharias Kepede. Now to Dawa Hotesa. Watched by two blue shots. Does well to get it back to Zacharias. Seems to have been challenged by Wondi Magen. Referee was watching and eventually brings this one back. So the fixtures we always look forward to as we see Wondi Magen sweeping Zacharias Kepede off the ground. It's this kind of fixtures that you look out for every time the rota is out. Because you know, on one side you have Mesfi Interface, on the other side you have Dawa Hotesa, two strikers active with the national side. Ephraim Ashamo releasing Daniel Deribe. Chance to bring across into the area. Does well. This one is easily taken out. Though on fast asking by Adis Tesfai. Mesfi Interface in that box. Hawassa are really dangerous from this kind of crosses.
That's exactly what they're waiting for, and that is why you always find Deribe playing straight on the right.
Here he is again. This time, not right in terms of his crossing, the captain of Zerai Mulu's side. He's done a good job.
He has. I mean, to be able to push your team into third position today, it's not a joke. It is not a joke, and it leads from the front, because most of the attacks for Hawassa come through him on the right hand side of the attack.
This is Thomas Simretu, and the pressure is Jamal Tisol. Fremashama was closing in, picked up by Medhane Birhane. Abdul Basit Kemal has another touch through the center. There's a good piece of skill then from Emmanuel Gobena. Yeah? I think a return ball is Million Selemon. Continues with his run. This is Million Selemon now looking for space to cross one in and goes for a long one. And both hands from Dawa Hotesa up in the air. To his central defender and wondering why he cannot get in position.
It was a very good run there by Ahmed Mohamed, just taking away a defender with him. Again, the quality of shots really not the way Deste Johannes expected it to go.
Biruk. Tibekalu. This is Deribe. Ephraim Ashamo on the market, looking for a return to Ephraim. Watched by Addis, forced to come back to Jamal. Anyway, Will G, as long as there is Ahmed Mohamed. Tadele. Now Emmanuel Gobena. Long one looking for Dawa Hotesa, who is onside this time. Dawa Hotesa, and the goalkeeper has handled that one. Muhammad Muntari most likely is in trouble. He did handle this one way out of his own area. And it's an early shower for the Ghanaian custodian. First half drama in Dradawa as Muhammad Muntari is sent off. It is the right decision.
It's the correct one. He's the last man. He's the last man and he's already out of his line. He is not in the penalty area. He's in no man's land. And again, for the second time, Dawa Hotesa ensuring that for the second time, he sends the goalkeepers home early. Because I remember the last time also, he also sent Lawrence Larte home, another West African.
Was it Freo get a one?
No, it was Lawrence Larte.
Lawrence Larte?
Yes.
Not a goalkeeper, a defender? Oh,
was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting move there by Muntari, just taking one for the team. I think at this point he should have just stepped in front of Dao Tessa. You know, let the ball go, but don't allow Dao Tessa to move. But instead, he decided, Dao, you're not moving, and the ball also is not moving. Punish ours.
There it is. Lawrence Latte. This is not music to his ears at all. As Muhammad Muntari makes his way to the dressing room, supported by the fans that have traveled this far. They don't know how good he has been for their side, but now the Raimolo's side have to play with a man less for a huge chunk of this game. You had to look at that big run from the captain again. Muntari found himself in a tricky situation. He had two blue shots around him, to be fair. If he had decided not to touch that ball and go in for a challenge, at worst could have been a yellow card. And maybe the covering from Adi Salem Tesfaye or Segasel Berhane could have worked. But I'm just saying that.
You're talking about reflex action. It was in the moment of things, you know. And he should have known that he's way over his line. He should have known that.
Well, now they have to quickly look to the bench. Hawassa, they have the test notes Invo as an option in there. They also have Degim Tefera. Going to confirm that very shortly with you. They are bringing on Dagim Tefera actually. He's got to quickly warm up and get up to the pace of this game now.
They have to sacrifice an upfield player because the goalkeeper has gone out. One of the players has to give way for Dagim.
Just to figure out who the unfortunate player is, who's just only had to play just over 20 minutes because of Muntari's red card now has to come off. This puts Hawassa in a tricky situation now. Fasil Tekalin will know that his side have a man's advantage. If they can keep calm and keep cool throughout the game, keep possession, soak in the pressure, they should be able to do well. A side anyway that doesn't concede that many, this Adama team. Now, Hotesa will have to welcome the new goalkeeper with a free kick quite close to the area. And he's waiting.
I think it's just going to be a reorganization because in a 4-3-3 formation, it means that you have 4 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 1 striker. So all that needs to happen now is going to be 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 1 striker. They'll just be short moving forward, but they'll be very, very solid in defense.
The captain and the coach both calling for a red card. Obviously, Mesfin Tafese not happy with Dao Tesa's call to Lydia Tafese to bring the cards out. Mesfin Tafese seems to suggest that Dao Tesa, you know, needed more fuel in the fire. Suddenly should be blamed a bit for it, but I think it was a bit straightforward. So it is Abdul Basit Kemal then. Surprise, it's a midfielder coming off for Dagim Tefera. That means that Zeraimolu has decided to keep Mesfin Tafese, Bilik Bayene, and Ephraim Ashamo up front. We're removing one from the midfield.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. Keep your best strikers on the pitch to keep pressure on the Adama Ketema side.
That also means that Mesfin Tafese away from Ashamo will have to contribute to the midfield heavily now moving forward. But all the attention quickly turns to Dagim Tefera then, a substitute goalkeeper, to try and keep Dawa Hotesa out on first asking. Can Adama go to 23 points of the campaign? Or will Hawassa go to 29? 6 points between these two giants. It's starting to look like a draw would probably be good for Hawassa now. But let's wait and see. Red cards. They always change the shape of the fixture. They always force coaches to change tactics. That's why it's also called the beautiful game. The twists and turns of the fixture, what really excites those up in the stands. Hawassa fans will not be happy with the situation, but those in red and black will be celebrating and ready to open up bottles of champagne after this game. Look, Bayane, given the special place in the wall. Yes, Daotesa! That looked close from the Adama captain, but suddenly Dagim Tefera will be happy to see it go wide.
It could have been a big welcome, a huge welcome. Dagim Tefera needs to realize now he's coming up a very, very solid striker, especially on set pieces. And that is just an invite. He's been told welcome to the party.
Had a good run of form, this Adama side. Obviously, last time out were 3-1 winners over Dredawa, but before that, had been beaten by Johannes Saleh and Mekele Kaya. Drawn 0-0 with Ethiopian Buna. And is that good run of draws and victories. 2 wins over Sebet and Bahirda. Just before 3 draws in there. But big draws, not just usual draws. Draws against St. George, draws against Sidama Buna, and a 1-0 draw against Arbavich. Not the weakest team suddenly in the league. For Hawassa, they've really been up and down, haven't they? But mainly they have been picking up crucial victories. Apart from that 2-0 defeat to Bahirda, Raimolu's side have actually been one of the better teams in the league. 1-0 draw against Addis Ababa. The Mesu Fikadu suddenly is one of the few dents in their last 7 games. But crucial wins. And keeping clean sheets as well in most of these games. Ethiopian Buna by 2-0, sending out a strong message to the rest of the league just how good Hawassa were going to be. Yes, they were contenders from just the first day of the campaign. As the league has won, we've tried to separate the boys from the men. Now, long one looking for Muhammad, and the flag is up this time. How does Hawassa make sure they protect the score as it is? And more importantly, probably I should ask you, Gilbert, how does Adama now make sure they capitalize on the fact that they have a man's advantage?
I think one area that they need to capitalize is that midfield, because Hawassa now are 10 in the midfield. They were playing with 3, was including Bikalo Ginene and Woodmagen Hailu. Now they only have 2, and forcing Ephraim Ashamo to drop back, meaning that on one side of the wing, they can easily overload that side by adding more numbers as you attack, and then ensure that you have numbers in the box when you're going into the final third. That's something that Fasil Ketema needs to give instructions to now that he has an opportunity to do so.
Of the possession is with his side. He'll be happy to have more of the ball, but suddenly the most important statistic is the goals. Needs to quickly find the back of the net, and if he can pick a victory, his 15th match this season, what a run he suddenly will be having with Adama. For Hawassa, they have already put in the good performances before. They simply need to be a bit more consistent. Quite close, it was that 3-2 victory over Dredawa. Then they swept Fasil away 2-1. And then there you can as well put that one crucial victory, 1-0 over Arbavich. As we look at a hiding Muhammad Muntari. And this is why. Thinks you can't see him.
That's a proper hiding. That's a real proper hiding. Just sitting somewhere in the stairs and ensuring that the cameras cannot be able to get them. But he needs to realize we have the wide lens. They can pick you from anywhere.
Zacharias Kipede missed it. Picked up by Bekalu Genene. Through the center is Ephraim Ashamo. Daniel Deribe returns this one to Tsegesao Birhan under good pressure from Dawa Hotesa then. This is Biruk Bayene dropping possession. Zacharias, couple of runs on both wings. Goes for Desta Yohanes out wide. Skodame Muhammad for support. Closely watched by Tsegesao Birhan. Return is picked up by Tsegesao. Very good spaces for him, and it's only a chance again for Adi Salim Tesfai to try and find either Biruk Bayene or Wondi Market. Now they are in numbers. You won't see many of them coming forward. Meaning Hawassa will soak in a lot of pressure, it seems. Then try to get this Adama side on a counter-attack. And that will work because they have very fast players. Especially Interface, Ephraim Ashama and Biruk Bayene are lightning fast. When they get into space, any defense can always be in trouble.
If there is an area that is going to have a lot of overload, is the area that is being operated by Daniel Deribe.
Now, on into the area, and this has been missed by the goalkeeper this time. Falling to Ahmed Muhammad. A good return into the center, looking for Million Solomon. Goes up fast and is looking for a return ball. But Dagim Jafera is staying on his line. This is Gobena trying to set up Million Solomon again, who goes down in the penalty area. Lydia Tapese is playing this one on for now. She will call it back to make sure the medics quickly rush onto the field because of that challenge, an aerial challenge involving Dagim Jafera. And I think it is Million Solomon as well.
I think there was a boot. There was an open boot. Should be from the Salem Tesfai. No, it was from Sigaseo de Mamu and on Million Solomon. I think the referee was in close proximity to the action. Good enough. He has managed to shake it off. What was Dagim Tefera doing? What was he going to pick?
Dagim Tefera off that bench, and he's a man under so much pressure at the moment. Going forward, looking for Ahmed Muhammad again. It's coming to Jamil Yacob. Dama looking to keep more and more of the possession as we get closer and closer to half-time. Thomas Simretu to Adis Tesfai. You see Jamil Yacob. Not so many spaces. Was almost given away to basically Interface. He had so much space ahead of him. This is Wondi Magen Hailu. To thread through for basically Interface again. Don't start asking. Still, Ephraim Ashamo cannot find a clear path. But now it's been picked up by the youngster. Pushed by Million Solomon. Forced to come back to Daniel Deribe is Ephraim Ashamo. Through the center is Bekalu. Adi Salem looking for a run from Medihane. It's been dropped out. Will be allowed to be picked up eventually by Jamil. To Thomas Simretu again. A man down, but they will not be pulled around. Not easy to break down this Hawassa Ketema side. And Adama starting to quickly realize. Here they come with Million again. Gobena does well to get past Ephraim Ashamo. Now this is Tadele Mengeshe, not getting space around Adi Salem Tesfai. Blue Wall is looking to come forward. Again, he simply cannot keep possession for long spells because we have both Adi Tesfai, Jamil Yacob, and a certain Emmanuel Gobena always returning and covering those spaces through the center, in and around Thomas Simretu and Million Solomon. Zacharias. Arias Kabede looking to release Ahmed Muhammad. Very well defended by Medhane Birhane. It's not giving away any kind of space. They now have to simply sit back and soak in this pressure. And in the same process, Adama will have to be very careful. Here they come though, with Million. Back to Gobena. And it's Tesfai. The pressure from Mesfin, trying to find Thomas Simretu. Almost miscontrolling it. Thomas Simretu will have to be a bit more careful than that. Was almost picked up by Biruk Beyene. How dramatic suddenly would this one have been? And now here they come with Ame Muhammad, playing out wide, closely watched by Adi Salem Tesfai. Just to come almost into the midfield and then almost getting a return that comes off Medhan Birhane. Defending in numbers and not letting any ball slip through is what Hawassa are doing. Jamil. Tidele Mengesha floats one in. The goalkeeper is off his line again and dropping it for the second time in a row. Lydia Tafese comes to his rescue this time. Tagim Tefera, Navi, as they come.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. You can't have somebody who is using his head out jump you when you have an opportunity to be able to grab the balls with your right hand. With your hands. And surely Dagim Tefera has not settled into the match after the exit of Muntari.
Bayene went down. Lydia Tafese was seeing that. Thomas Simretu will get himself a yellow card. Oh, not a yellow card, actually. Lydia was picking up order from the back pocket. That is because of that little pull. Biruk Bayene. Interesting slot there. It is for Hawassa. The two-man wall. Deribe to bring this one into the box. Couple of options in there. Adi Salem Tesfai has come forward. Just like Segasao Birhanu. Deribe at the edge of that box. Can he have a good delivery to trouble Jamal Jasoden? It will be quite interesting to see them take the lead, even though they are a man down. What a moment that one should be. Daniel Deribe floats one into the area, looking for anyone in blue. It's headed out by Thomas Simretu. Picked up by Ame Muhammad, who is looking to run past Bekaro Genene. He's got more power, suddenly more pace. He's got Ephraim Ashamo to deal with. They eventually loses it through the center with Segasel, who was returning to make sure he clears his lines. It's been that kind of game.
It's very cagey, very cagey. So far, Adama have not really utilized the one-man advantage that they have. The reason being is that they have not utilized the wider areas. Because anytime the ball is on the right, you'll always find somebody free on the wider areas, but they're not putting the balls towards. They're not using the diagonal passes.
Zacharias, back to Jamil Jacob, takes a short one into the area, looking for Ame Muhammad. Then picked up at the edge again by Tadele Menge, shocking. That was Mesfin Tafese. It's now been picked up by Ephraim Ashamo. This is Wandi Magen. Niruk. Mekalu. Wandi Magen continues with the run. Takes a long one out wide, looking for Mesfin. Can he find it? Yes, he can. Closely watched by Million. Looking to cross one in. Back to Daniel Deribe. This is a brilliant ball into the area. And a bit too high on Biruk Beyene. You can see what the Roymolu side are trying to do. Capitalize on small little spaces when we have the ball on those counter-attacks as well.
Absolutely. They need to realize that they have shorter versions of players in the forward line. And those high balls will not be able to help them much. But they need to identify them on the grass, where they're capable of controlling the ball and put it in the net.
Stesta Tuame. Fremashamo is watching. Hotesa has gone down just at the edge of that area. Bit of a worry then. Let's look at it again. Not exactly sure what happened to him. Was it a clash with Medhane Berhane or not? Captain always leads from the front and always makes sure he stays out on the field. So if he goes down just like that, then it's going to be a bit of a worry on Dawa Hotesa.
He's actually holding his hamstring. That's something that he has struggled with last season. I think there's a little twitch. He feels that he doesn't need to continue unless he aggravates it.
Oh, it's not a good sight then. Not a good sight at all for Fasil Ketema. To think that sometimes losing down Hotesa is like going a man down. Is how important he is to this Adama side. Obviously, Abubakar Wondimu, Jibril Ahmed, and Abdissa Jamal are still options on that bench in case Fasil Ketema thinks right to make changes. Just before half-time, we are into the final 2 minutes of the opening 45. And is Abubakar Wondimu, it seems they are preparing.
Definitely an awkward landing on his left foot. It could have aggravated us an injury, a previous injury.
Mr. Jamal has also been sent out to warm up, so shall confirm those changes shortly. Daniel Deribe looking to launch one forward with Mesfi Interface. Stopped by Million Solomon. Now Mesfi Interface looking to get past Million eventually. He has two to deal with. The other was just Johannes. Gets himself a throw in. Very good play then and works suddenly from the youngster. Long one. This should be easy for Jamal to solve. Absolutely under no pressure with Thomas Simretu. That is Tesfaye watching just in front of him. And they have defended well. That back three of the three central defenders in the Adama side. But from a few chances here and there that Hawassa have had an opportunity to cross into the box, they really have kept it tight and neat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they've been aided by Jamil Yacob and Desta Johannes, who actually drop back anytime they lose possession of the ball and make it 5, making it very, very difficult for any meaningful penetration by the Hawassa Ketema side.
Simretu on one. That's an offside this time. Zeki escaped. Let the run a bit too early. That was head of Adi Salim Tesfaye. Yeah, correct decision this time, but very, very tight. Suddenly, Hawassa Ketema will have to be very careful holding that high line up against some very fast players like Zeki. And now with Da Hotesa leaving, they certainly will be facing most of that second half. Abubakar Wondimu. Equally dangerous, Abubakar.
He is. He's got terrific speed. Terrific speed, and you saw him doing damage to Dawa in a game that they won by 3-1. I think at this particular point he also scored 2 crucial goals.
Stretcher needed for Kidus Georegis. What's going on here? The lead strikers on both sides seem to be struggling. It's Raimulo's turn now to have to worry about Biruk Bayeni. His turn as well to look at the bench. Debara Kefemo is certainly a good option in there. He's decided to keep the 3 on up front, even after going a man down. Raimulo seems a man very clear about how he wants his team to play. Thomas Simretu to Jamil Yacob, looking for Abubakar Wondimu. Medan Berhane has been left behind, and Wondimu has put this one behind as well. Not managing to keep it on target, even when you get into those kind of spaces. They looked at as something they certainly have got to improve, capitalizing, getting something out of nothing.
Absolutely. And when they're so tight like this, those small details, how you bring the cross in important areas is going to be very, very vital for either side.
Space past Emmanuel Gobena, the crucial clearance, if I mechanically step in, that will bounce just in front of Jamal Tassol. Obviously, haven't seen much of Mesfi Interface since that red card. He hasn't had so much supply out wide. Red card going to Muhammad Muntari. Ephraim Ashamo as well has been forced to come deep into the midfield to get part of the action. Here he is. for Biruk Bayene. Can't get past Jamil Jakob. Gets a return though. He's fast. Very tricky. The impact of that red card will probably be felt heavily in the second half as well. It is Hawassa side. They have done well suddenly to wrap up the first. Simply have sat back and let Hawassa and their fans up, stand firm and stand tall. But for Adama, really, they have tried to keep possession. Most of it has been in their own half, even though they have had some chances on the other side. Long one from Daniel Deribe. Looking for Wondi Magen Hailu. It's taken out by Addis Tesfaye. Good pressure there from Zerai Molo's side, who are looking to finish the first half the stronger of the two sides. They'll be happy as long as possession stays that far away from Dagem Tefera. Now, they come. Big challenge out wide from Zacharias Kebede into the midfield with Million. Gobena back to Zacharias. Getting competition from Nesfi Interface. He sees that is Tesfaye. To Thomas Simretu. Almost every Hawassa player behind the ball as Lydia Tefese takes us to half-time. Dramatic first half. Both goalkeepers have been called to action. A bit more action on the Hawassa side, which has seen Muhammad Montari red-carded. And it's 10 up against 11 that Hawassa have held on to keep it at 0-0 here at half-time. The bigger question then is what happens in the second half. Could Fasil Tekalin and Adama capitalize on the man's advantage? Or will Hawassa and Zerai Molu hold on? Or even better still, pick up maximum points here? Half-time, it is 0-0.
የ8 የቤትኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪምየር ሊግ የመጀመሪያ ቀን ሁለተኛ ጨዋታ አዳማ ከነማ ከሐዋሳ ከተማ 0-0 በሆነ ውጤት የመጀመሪያ 45 ደቂቃ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴያቸውን ማጠናቀቅ ችሏል። በጨዋታው ላይ በርከት ያሉ ድራማዊ ክስተቶች ታይተዋል። ከነኚህ ድራማዊ ክስተቶች መካከል የሐዋሳዎች ግብ ጠባቂ ሞንታሪ ከክልሉ ውጭ ኳስ በእጅ በመንካቱ በቀጥታ ቀይ ካርድ ከሜዳ ተሰናብቷል። ግብ ጠባቂዎቻችን ከሚሰሩት ጥፋት ባሻገር እንዲህ አይነት ክስተቶችም ጎልተው እየታዩ ይገኛሉ። የጨዋታው አንደኛ መነጋገሪያ ጉዳይ ሆኗል። አዳማዎች ያገኙትን የቁጥር ብልጫ መጠቀም ሳይችሉ የመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ ጎል ሳይቆጠር ተጠናቋል። ምን ጉዳዮች አሉ የሚለውን እነጋገራለን። ዮናስ እንዴት አመሸ? 45 ደቂቃው እንዴት ነበር?
45 ደቂቃ በሁለት ከፍለ ማየት እንችላለን። ከቀይ ካርዱ በፊትና ከቀይ ካርዱ በኋላ። ከቀይ ካርዱ በፊት ሁለቱም ምሮች ተመጣጣኝ እንቅስቃሴ ነበራቸው። በእርግጥ በ4-3-3 እና በ3-5-2 አቀራረብ ነው ወደ ሜዳ የገቡትና በዚህ ጨዋታ ላይ ሁለቱም በፈጣን ቅብብሎች ወደ ጎል መድረስ የሚፈልጉ ቡድኖች ነበሩ። ብዙ በራሳቸው ሜዳ ኳስ ለመቆጣጠር ፍላጎት የሌላቸው ግን ተጋጣሚ ሜዳ ላይ በፍጥነት መድረስ ይፈልጉ። በዚህ እንቅስቃሴ ሁለቱም የጎል ሙከራዎች አድርገዋል። ግን ጥራት ያለው ግልጽ የማግባት ኢላማውን የጠበቀ ሙከራ ግን ማድረግ አልቻሉም ነበር። በምስሉ ላይ የምንመለከተው ባለሜዳው አዳማ በአብዛኛው ከመስመር ላይ ከቀኝ መስመር ላይ የሚነሱ የማጥቃት እንቅስቃሴዎች ነበሩት። ዳዋ የሚያደርጋቸው ሩጫዎች፣ ረጃጅም ኳሶች በተደጋጋሚ ተመልክተናል። የጀሚል ያዕቆብ ሩጫዎች አሉ። በሐዋሳ በኩል ግን ሙሉ በሙሉ ኤፍሬም አሻሞ በሚገኝበት የቀኝ መስመር እንደዚሁም ደግሞ ከቀይ ካርዱም በኋላ የመስፍን ታፈሰ ወደ ቀኝ እየወጣ የሚያደርጋቸው እንቅስቃሴዎች ናቸው እና አብዛኛው ከቀይ ካርዱ በኋላ በመከላከል ላይ ያመዘናቸው ስለነበረ ቁጥሮቹ በአብዛኛው የሚያሳዩት 0 ናቸው። በተለይ በመሀልና በግራ መስመር ማጥቃት በኩል
ቁጥሮች ምን ይናገራሉ የሚለውን ስንመለከት 45% የጨዋታ ሂደት መሀል ሜዳ ላይ ነበር። 3 የግብ ሙከራ፣ 1 ኢላማውን የጠበቀ በአዳማ በኩል ምን ማለት ይቻላል?
ቁጥሩ በእርግጥ ከቀይ ካርዱ በኋላ ይበልጥ በአዳማ በኩል ብልጫ እንዲያሳይ ያደረገ ይመስለኛል። ግን ከቀይ ካርዱ በኋላ አዳማ ከነማ በትዕግስት ቁጥር አድቫንቴጁን ለመጠቀም የሚያደርገው ጥረት ብዙም የተሳካ አልነበረም። ገና ጊዜ አላቸው። በእርግጥ በአንጻሩ ሐዋሳ ከነማ የቁጥር ዲስአድቫንቴጁን እንዴት ማኔጅ አደረገ የሚለው ያስገርማል። አሰልጣኝ ዘዘራይ ከማጥቃት ተጫዋች አንዱ ቀንሶ ተጫዋች ያስገባል፣ ግብ ጠባቂ ያስገባል ብዬ ነበር። ግን አብዱል ባሲጥ የተከላካይ አማካይ ነው የተቀየረው። በወረቀት የተከላካይ አማካይ በቀይ ወጣበት በረኛ ወጣበት ቡድን አይቀይርም። ግን አብዱል ባሲጥ ማለት ከፊትነስ ጋር የተያዘ ችግር ሊኖርበት ይችላልና ኤፍሬም አሻሞ በዚህ አሰልጣኝ ምን ያህል እምነት የተጣለበት እንደሆነ በተደጋጋሚ እያየ ነው። አሁን ደግሞ እንደ ፋሲሉ ጨዋታ አማካይ ቢና ወደ አማካይ ተስቦ የተጫወተ ነውና እያንዳንዱ ተጫዋች ካለው ነገር ማለት ለሐዋሳ ከነማ እየሰጠ መሆኑን እያየ ነው። በሁለተኛው አጋማሽ እስከምን ያደርሳቸዋል የምንመለከተው ነው የሚሆነው። ፋሲል
የጨዋታው መነጋገሪያ ነጥቦች ምን ነው? 45 ወደሚለው ነው የምንሄደው። የመጀመሪያውና ትልቁ ጉዳይ የግብ ጠባቂው ሞንታሪ ጉዳይ ነው። አንፕሮፌሽናል የሆነ
ረጅም ኳስ ነው ከራሳቸው በጥልቀት የተላከ ኳስ የኦፍሳይድ ወጥመዱን አልፎ ነው የዳዋ የሮጠው። ይህን ሩጫ ተመልክቶ ሞንታሪ ወጣ። ግን ታይሚንጉ ልክ አልነበረም። ዳዋ ኳሱን አሳልፎ ለመሄድ በሞከረበት ጊዜ በእጁ ነክቷል። ቀይ ካርድ ሰጥቶታል። ምናልባት የመጨረሻውን ጨዋታ ታስታውስ እንደሆነ የአዳማው ፍሬው በተመሳሳይ እንቅስቃሴ ዳዋ አምልጦ በሚወጣበት ጊዜ ኳሱን ለመያዝ ሞክሮ በቀይ ካርድ ወጥቷል። ከአዳማ ጋር በሃይላይን መጫወት በጣም አደገኛ እየሆነ እንደመጣ አንዱ ማሳያ ይመስለኛል። በዛ ጨዋታ ጎል አግኝተዋል። እንደገና ፍሬው በቀይ ካርድ ወጥቷል በዛ በድሬዳዋ ጨዋታ። ዛሬ ደግሞ ሌላ የዳዋ ወደ ቀኝ አዘንብሎ ክፍተቶችን በማየት ተከላካይ መጨረሻ መድኃኒ ነው እሱን ማርክ ያደረገው። ግን መድኃኒ ሳይሆን ነው ፈጣን ሩጫ የሚያደርገውና እጅግ በጣም አደገኛ ሩጫ ነበር። ሙንታሪ በቀይ ካርድ መውጣቱ ትክክለኛ ውሳኔ ነው። ሊዲያ አዳዋም ቢጫ ካርድ ተመልክቷል። የዳኛዋን ስራ በመናገሩ ቢጫ ካርድ ሚት ጥያቄ ስለነበረው ቢጫ ተመልክቷልና በጣም ለሐዋሳ መጥፎ አጋጣሚ ነበር።
በጣም አነጋጋሪ አልነበረም። ዳኝነቱም እጅግ የተመሰከረለትና የተዋጣለት ነው። ሌላኛው የቅጣት ምቱ ሁኔታ ነው። ዳዋ
ቆንጆ ቅጣት ደብል ኪሳራ ነበር ለሐዋሳ። ኳሱ በጣም ጠንካራ ነው። ከግብ ጠባቂ ፊት የነጠረ ኳስ ነው። ምናልባት ኢላማውን የጠበቀ ቢሆን ለግብ ጠባቂው ዳግም በጣም አስቸጋሪ ሊሆን ይችል ነበርና በጣም ጥሩ ቅጣት ምት ነው። ዳዋ በዚህ ይታወቃል። ግን ኢላማውን ቢጠብቅ ይበልጥ ለግብ ጠባቂ ፈታኝ ነው። ሊተፋው ይችላል። በጣም ብዙ አስቸጋሪ ነገር ሊሆን ይችል ነበር። ግን ኳሱ ሳይገባ ቀርቷል። ድለኞች ናቸው ሐዋሳዎች።
በነገራችን ላይ ክቡራን ተመልካቾቻችን ዳዋ ሆቴሳ የመገጣጠሚያ አካባቢ የወገብ አካባቢ በገጠመው ጉዳት ከሜዳ ወጥቷል። መጀመሪያ 45 ደቂቃ ላይ ምናልባት ሌላኛው የጨዋታ መነጋገሪያ ጉዳይ የሚሆነው ደግሞ መስፍን ያደረገው ሙከራ ነው። ጥሩ አጋጣሚ፣ ጥሩ እድል።
የሐዋሳዎች መጀመሪያ ጨዋታ ክፍለ ጊዜ ወደ ጎል ለመድረስ ጥረት አድርገዋል። እንደውም ሁለቱን የአዳማ ከነማ ዊንግ ባኮች ጀሚል እና ደስታ ወደፊት ቶሎ እንዳይሄዱ እንደ ድሬዳዋው ጨዋታ በማድረግ በኩል የሐዋሳ አጥቂዎች መገደብ ችለው ነበር። አንደኛው ይሄ ነው፣ መስፍን ያደረገው ሙከራ ነው። ራሱን ያዘጋጅበት መንገድ እንደዚሁ አማኑኤል ጎበናን ተመልከት እንዴት እንደቀነሰው። ይሄን ሁሉ አድርጎ ነው ኳሱን የመታው። ጀማል ጣሰው ሰሞኑን ኮንፊደንሱ ጥሩ አልነበረም። ይሄ ኳስ ግን በጣም በድንቅ ሁኔታ ነው ያለፉትን ጊዜያት ወደኋላ ሄድ እንድናስታውስ ያደረገ ድንቅ ሴቭ ነው ጀማል ጣሰው ያደረገው እና ጥሩ ነበር። ሰሞኑን ጥሩ አልነበረም። የሚሰራቸው ስህተቶች ወደ ጎል የሚያመሩ ነበሩና ዛሬ ግን ጥሩ ሙከራ አድኗል።
ሐዋሳ ከነማ በጨዋታው እንቅስቃሴ የፈጠራቸው እድሎች ነው የምንመለከተው። ጥሩ የሚባል የማግባት እድል፣ ነገር ግን እድልን ያለመጠቀም አካሄድ በጨዋታው የታየ አጋጣሚ ነው።
መድኃኔ ይሄ ኳስ መድኃኔ ነው የወረወረው እና ቶማስ ምረቱ የመጀመሪያ ኳስ መከላከል ነበረበት። ኳሱ ነጥሮት አመለጠ። እንደገና መስፍን ታፈሰ ምን ያህል ጉልበተኛ እንደሆነ ይታወቃል። በድጋሚ እንደገና አዲስ ተመልከት። አሁን ቶማስ ምረቱ ኳስ ማውጣት ነበረበት። መስፍን ታፈሰ እየታገለ ነው ሄደው ያንን ኳስ ነው ድጋሚ አዲስን አምልጦ ኳሱን አግኝተው ያባከኑትና አሁንም ለዚህ ኳስ የጀማል ጣሰው ኳሊቲ መደነቅ ያለበት ይመስለኛል። ተመልከተው አሁን ኤፍሬም ኳሱን ደርሶበት ነበር፣ ግን ጀማል በፍጥነት ኳሱን ለማገድ የሚችልበት ፖዚሽን ላይ ተገኝቷልና ጀማል ጥሩ ነበር መጀመሪያ 45 ደቂቃ።
ሁለተኛው 45 ደቂቃ ጨዋታው ምን መልክ ይኖረዋል? ሁለቱም ቡድኖች በተቀያሪ ወንበር ላይ ወሳኝ ሊባሉ የሚችሉ ተጫዋቾች አሏቸው። ምን ለውጥ ያስፈልጋል በሁለቱም ቡድኖች በኩል?
ሐዋሳ ከነማ በጣም አስቸጋሪ ሁኔታ ውስጥ ነው ያለው። ከዚህ በኋላ ይበልጥ መከላከሉን ላይ ትኩረት አድርጎ በመልሶ ማጥቃት ነው የሚጫወተውና የእግር መድከም ሊኖር ይችላል በጣም ያለ ኳስ ብዙ ሰዓት ስለሚያሳልፍ። ስለዚህ አሰልጣኙ ብዙ የመቀየር እድል አላቸው። በአዳማ በኩል ግን ከ3-5-2 ምናልባት ከመከላከል ባህሪ ካላቸው ተጫዋች አንዱ ቀንሶ ምናልባት ዮሴፍን አማካይ ክፍል ላይ ቢያስገባ ይበልጥ ታደለን ዘካሪያስን መጠቀም ይችልበት እድል ያገኛል እና አብዲሳ ጀማልም ማለት ተዋዋቂ ወንበር ላይ። ስለዚህ ጎል ለማስቆጠር የሚያስችል ብዙ አማራጮችን ሊጠቀሙ ይችላሉ። ዋናው ግን በትዕግስት መጫወት ነው። ክፍተቶችን ለማግኘት ትዕግስት የሚያስፈልግ ይመስለኛል እና ለአዳማ ትዕግስት
የአንድ ተጫዋች የቁጥር ብልጫ ያገኙት አዳማ ከነማ ይህንን ጨዋታ በምን መልኩ ማኔጅ ያደርጋሉ? እንዲሁም ደግሞ አንድ ተጫዋች የወጣባቸውና በቁጥር የጎደሉት ሐዋሳ ከነማዎችስ ጨዋታውን በምን መልክ ይቃኙታል? ሁለተኛ 45 ደቂቃ ጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ እነኚህን ሁሉ ነገሮች
Muhammad Muntari sent off in the first half. Dagim Tefera coming on. And Abdul Basit Kemal having to make way as Adama make another substitution, pulling out Jesta Johannes and bringing on Abdissa Jamal. That means you have Abubakar Wondimu, Ame Muhammad, and Abdissa Jamal now. 3 strikers suddenly coming on for Fasil Tekal inside. This is what we expected. They have the man's advantage and they're going for it.
Well, I think what is going to happen is that he's going to move from 3-5-2 to a 3-4-3, where Abdissa Jamal is going to be operating alongside Ame Mohammed and Abubakar Wandimu, the front 3. Of course, there's been a response, of course, from the other side with Tabarek Famo coming in again to try and see whether they can be able to solidify the forward line at the top.
Sabiruk Beyene is that makes way. Tabarek comes in through the center. Yeah, he's looking to have an early touch then, because early drama as well. Tabarek Femo is going to be operating through that center, trying to support Mesfi Interface. As Wondi Magen, Arek comes in for Daniel Deribe. So it looks like Mesfi Interface now is going to play in the center of that front 3, with both Ephraim Ashamo and Tabarek Femo playing on both wings. Raimul was well bringing changes in his side, just like Fasil Tekalin, but you want to think that both coaches have kept the same philosophy. They both have stayed with the main strikers out there, meaning just holding a high line will be very dangerous. Long one looking for Mesfin. This is led to roll back to the goalkeeper by Adi Stesfai. Now knows he's up against very basic forwards, and suddenly the same story will go to Tsegaseo and Adi Salem Tesfai, who now have to face a certain Adisa Jamal, Abubakar Wondimu, and Ame Muhammad. This is Thomas Simretu. Manuel Gopena goes out wide, looking to build with Jamil Jakob. It's a long one looking for Abubakar, very well intercepted by Wondi Magen. A couple of options through that center. If they can find any, then they will cause all sorts of trouble. Tadele Mengesha has picked it up. Gobena has had an extra touch. This is now Jamil Jakob back to Tadele. Elion Solomon in so much space out wide and asking for the ball as it goes to Adis Tesfai and finally to Million. Tabarek coming in to press and suddenly getting himself to a situation where inside must defend again. It's going to be that kind of game, just like we said, whoever controls more of this possession will have a bigger chance. That is what Hawassa have done in a very good number of their fixtures. He did control the game against Fasil, did so well against Mekelekaya as well. And when they lost to Bahirda, they had a good piece of possession. So Zerai Mulu has been quite confident with how his team approaches matches. And for Adama, they suddenly have got to stamp their authority on this game and use the man's advantage to try and trouble that midfield. It has been made even weaker with Abdul Basit Kemal's departure. Nefrema Shamo. This is Wondi Magen looking for a through ball to Mesfi Interface, easily stopped by Thomas Imretu. Abdissa Jamal continues with the run, trying to be tracked by Adi Salem Tesfai and Tsegaseo Rahano. It's going to be very interesting to see Abdissa Jamal, who is a very physical player. There's a feeling that the likes of Ame Muhammad and Dao Otesa were being bullied by Adi Salem and Tsegaseo. Now Abdissa Jamal is equally a big man. So, game on.
Well, and as much as you have technical players, I think the best thing about it is that you need to have players who can be able to move the ball quickly, because those spaces that you have already identified will easily be filled up if you don't move the balls into those spaces quicker.
Mengesha floats one into the box, easily taken out. And fast asking really by Wondi Magen into the midfield. Now Hawassa looking to counter-attack, and this could be the opportunity. Mesfin has a run. He's got options out wide. Can he find any of those? It's a long ball through the center. Thomas Simretu was dilly-dallying with possession. Could have been trouble. The flag had been up on Timberlake. That is how fast they can break. Jamil, Abu Baker, Tadele, Zacharias coming into the area looking for Ahmed Muhammad, used his left. If he was trying to bring this one back into play, suddenly almost fell to Zacharias.
Again, those are the kind of balls that you're expecting, those diagonal passes, because a lot of players would concentrate on where the ball is and forget about who is coming from the backside. And that's the only way for... Now that Adama can be able to break down Hawassa Ketema.
He had two to deal with. One was Segasau, the other was Adi Salim. And Abubakar Wadibo can't keep the latest chance in possession. Big opportunities they are getting this Adama side.
They're getting it, and especially on those diagonal passes. Look at Abdisa's run. The timing is very good. The delivery is fantastic. Again, fast touch, very good. But he misses a size 5 ball. That's a big question. Where were his eyes focused? Or was he counting chicks before they hatched?
It's going to be important to see how Adama approach the final few minutes of this game. If it stays at 0-0, I get a feeling there will be a bit of pressure on Fasil Ketema inside. A few players will be wondering why we can't take the lead. A few fans up in the stands. They know they have the man's advantage. Here they come again. Chance to bring one into the box. Just not good enough. Medhane clearing this time. Return almost coming off Jamil Jacob, but had so many players coming back, including Wondi Marget. Right next to him was Adi Salim Tesfai. Segasau Medhane had the original clearance. As we look at this chance to the right back, look at how high he is again.
Jacob has to move up just to join and add numbers up if they have to beat this tightly knit Hawassa defense.
Zacharias Kebede, and another chance eventually falling to Zacharias Kebede, looking to get one away. And Abubakar Wandimo for support right next to him. Ephraim Ashamo is the player who was trying to defend alongside the captain Adi Salam Tesfai. None of those quickly got to the space. Zacharias Kebede let fly, but certainly not on target. Simretu goes up in the air alongside Mesfin. Tabarik, obviously, since coming off the bench, is expected to be the faster of the forwards in there, fresh legs. That will be very good to make sure the tempo of this game does not drop. Jamil Jacob. Zacharias Kebede looking for Abubakar Wondimu, fouled in the process. Seems to have been Berhane, the left back. Majan is getting a yellow card. That is his second in a row. Had one in the last fixture against Michele Kaya. They suddenly are building up. He will have to serve a suspension at some point when he gets to 5. Raymond will keep tabs on that suddenly. As you look at this big chance out wide, the original tackle coming in from Adi Salem. Here they come again with Shimyu Jakob to bring another one in. Looks a fantastic ball, looking for Million Solomon, who rose highest. And Got it again. It means Zacharias. Zacharias compared to this one. He was in full control of the ball. He was progressing very well. I think he just misstepped. He must have took his ankle, the left one.
painful. Very, very painful, but it should be fine. A few minutes of suddenly running this one should be very fine. The car. Yes. Today's kickoff had only managed 116 minutes. Darius Kebede is one of those few players that Fasil Ketema is actually relying on at the moment to make sure some of the other starters get a break. Next of Joseph Johannes, next of Binyam Aited. Habesha Jamal has of course since come on alongside Abubakar Wondimu. Now that is a big worry. That he should be coming back and joining us shortly. Here is Ahmed Mohammed. Habesha Jamal is onside using his left. The flag took time to get up. Eventually, the second official out wide decided that Habesha Jamal had taken that run a bit earlier.
It's a good steal there by Ahmed Mohammed. Because look at the number of players in blue who are actually closing him down. He has an opportunity to play the ball wide. He decides to play it close. But Mustafa Meki, second assistant on the far end, picks out Mr. Jamal to have made, try to build a house in his normal land.
Thomas Simretu had his text by full support, finds Emmanuel Gobena. Thomas Simretu under a bit of pressure now. So does even better. So the ball has been given away to Hawassa, deep inside the Adama box. Johannes is being prepared. The perennial starter in this Fasil Ketema inside in the midfield. We shall confirm shortly who will be coming on for. Now it's Hawassa trying to hold this Adama side hostage inside their own half. Habesha Jamal picks up possession. Chance for him to have a counter attack. He had two to deal with. Efrem Ashamo. That is Salem test by the other. I have to think that the men in red actually have the man's advantage. They're not getting much of the ball. Better still, they're not getting out of their own half, which they have just done now with Jamil Jacob. Floating one into the box, looking for Ahmed Mohammed, controlling it for Habesha Jamal. Now to turn, Habesha Jamal trying to set Tadele.
Mr. Jamal needs to know his tactical awareness. He needs to know exactly where the defenders are. He receives the ball, he's in a prime position, and again, tries to get into more muggy areas. The dissatisfaction of so many fans on the stands.
He had Ahmed Mohammed for support right to the left. He had Zacharias Kebede right behind him. Looking down and not looking up at Habesha Jamal. Well, big chance that it's come and gone. So the steps by has a touch here, putting his side under pressure as Efrem Ashamo and Wondimagen look to close in. Wondimagen, bit of skill. Simply not effective enough. Past Million Solomon, the veteran defender, telling the youngster to keep it respectful here. Embarrassing man who's got family on international television. Simply unacceptable. Magen Hailu, come on. Efrem Ashamo, cleared by Thomas Simretu. Picked up through the center by Emmanuel Gobena. He runs out wide. One of those is Abubakar Wondimu. Efrem Ashamo is better. Now this one is coming forward. A couple of options for Adama. Suddenly trying to run in, including Abdisa. The flag had stayed down. As we look at the two red-carded players, both in defense. One Lawrence Latte, the other Muhammad Muntari. Two men from Ghana seeing red. more this game wears on, the more Hawassa will believe they can pick maximum points. As we confirm now, Tadele Mengesha will come off for Joseph Johannes. Also looking to make more changes with Biniam Aiten. The other player to come on for Biniam. Oh, this is almost given away as Wondi Markin was making a rush into the area. Joseph Johannes having his first major contribution then to try and save Jamal Jusso from being in trouble. Returning with possession in and around your box. It's always dangerous. Not sure why players continuously do this.
I think it's the style of play of the coach. What you see the players do on the field of play is exactly the mind of the coach. They have not to rush, even when they're in a deep state.
Muhammad tracking back to keep possession. Struggling to pick it up against Wondi Magen Marek. Been picked up by Wondi Magen Hailu on the other side. Steps on the ball. Quickly loses position. Now Adama have a chance to have their own counter-attack, but not past that Salem test by then. Ephraim Ashamo was in with a challenge. Possession has been picked up by Ame. Got two to beat. Beats one. Looking to go past Wondi Magen. Now through the center. They're looking for Abdisa. It's come back to Ephraim Ashamo. Chance to launch one forward. This is Debare Kefemo. So that's the best movement from Mesfin Tafese, but eventually they find him. He's dancing around a couple of red shots. Supposed to come back to Wondi Magen. Now Medhane. Stopped by Bobeka Wondimo. Jamil Jacob. Medhane picks up possession again. Goes down. The referee was quite close. Some of these challenges though.
There's a lot that has been going on between Medhane and the new entrant of Bobeka Wondimo. They're really not giving each other the opportunity to be able at least to move forward. They're both very, very speedy. Very good also in recovery.
Mane has quickly taken this one, was hoping for a return from Mesfin. Didn't get it. Bobeka has it. Comes through the center with Biniam. Was almost picked up by the blue wall. This Adama side will have to be very careful. They're keeping so much of the possession inside their own half. Abdisa out wide looking for Kopena, but closely tracked this time by Adi Salem. Playing in there with Tsegesao. The two have been rock solid. They have given away absolutely no space. No chances to any of these Adama attackers. They'll keep probing. Keep knocking on that door.
I'm not sure why, because most of these players today have been stepping onto the ball even without being under any pressure. Not sure whether it's the surface or just a question of knowing where the ball is, anticipating where the ball is when you really don't have any vision on it.
It's a dangerous stamp from Joseph Johannes on Mesfin Tafese. They should be fine. Mulu looking on very pensively. Side must defend. Shemil tried to bring one in looking for Manuel Gobena. This is Joseph Johannes. Oh, what a ball. He was trying to find Biniam Aiten out wide. Had made the run the second half substitute, but suddenly didn't get the ball. Gets the possession now. That looks dangerous from Joseph Johannes on Ephraim Ashamo. Immediately without debate gives him a yellow card. That kind of distance with an open boot. Sometimes get that kind of player into a hospital. Joseph Johannes, not really. Was dangerous.
I thought he must have used his bum. Because he comes in. Oh, that tackle. I mean, the intention was not right. The intention wasn't right. It really did stump on Ephraim Ashamo, but his intention was not right. I think that's a good call from Reed.
Our window is just around the corner as we wrap up the first round. It's going to be very important to see which players leave which clubs and join which clubs. Very sure there will be focus from the likes of Fasil Kenema, just like the Serai Mulu. They want to try and strengthen up their squads, have better defensive packages, and take us out. Jacob looking to clear his lines, fails. It's eventually picked up by Mesfi Interface out wide. Youngster does well to keep this one in play. He's supposed to come back to Medhane. Changes his mind, goes for a long one. The flag stays down on Adama Ketema. Now Binyam. Mashamo chases. Binyam looking to come forward. Certainly can't go past Wadi Magen Marek. Dawa. Emerging from the touchline. Muhammad brings one into the area. That's very good defensive work from the left back. Berhane always playing in the center when you know the ball is on the opposite side. They could have been in trouble because Abubakar Odimu was slightly behind him. These changes by Hawassa seem to have worked. Good defense.
They have worked. They are looking very, very solid defensively. Though they have not been able at least to permeate the tackling defense by Adama. But in terms of defensive work, they are doing very well. They're also packed in the midfield. And they're always compact. Whenever they lose possession of the ball, always compact. And giving it very, very difficult for Adama to be able at least to give any meaningful penetration pass.
Mark and clears into the midfield. Mesfin touches, looking for Tebarek. Get the run, come back to the midfield with Ephraim Ashamo. Where's Jamil Yacob rushing in to try and get it off Mesfin. We both go in for water break then, both sides. Just remind you about the big games. Will be coming your way on match day 15 as we try to wrap up halfway the campaign and prepare for what should be a dramatic second half. Up against the Beta, one of the bigger games.
Oh, that's a huge one. The Beta is actually at the bottom of the log. Ravamit, who are pulling surprises every other time, will also be a difficult match. Bahadar Ketema playing against Ethiopia Buna, that's a huge one. You have to keep tabs on this one, the second match of the day. Hadi Osaina still to play Adama Buna. Adama Ketema will have it against Kidus Georegis, who are number one on the table. Bekeleke and Jima. And of course, on the last day, Volkite Ketema playing Olaita Dija. Just keep it with us here. Super Sport will be bringing you all these matches live on your World of Champions.
Live from the city of love, the city of Dredawa, the city of Remedy, the eastern part of this beautiful land. 500 kilometers from the capital city Addis Ababa, 300 from the border with Djibouti. Give you a quick feel of where we could be, a semi-arid place. We have seen temperatures during the day go as high as 30 degrees Celsius. The second games have seen temperatures in and around 23 and 24, which has been cool enough for the players out there, but suddenly the target has been to quickly move up the standings. It's not been very easy for most of these sides. Suddenly, the home side, Bredawa, who have suffered with a couple of losses, changing managers, and still not got any right in front of their own home fans. Mondi Magen looking to for a run out wide. It was a big opportunity. That looked a back pass, according to some of the of the Adama players. Not comfortable talking about it, but the Hawassa players putting their hands up and suggesting that return ball from Jamil Yacob seems to have been close to a back pass to Jamal Tassor.
But it was not intentional. He was trying to control the ball, and it's only that the ball happened to have gone towards his keeper. It wasn't really intentional. Well, having a chance to bring some of the thing that is identified. In there as well is Wondi Market and Mesfin Tapese. Is floated into the area. Everyone goes up. The first attempt seems to have come off at its test by the crucial touch of Jamal Jasol. The counter-attack now could be on out wide with Abdisa Jamal. Long ball looking for Abubakar Wondimu. The clearance coming up by Prema Shamo. This is Ame Mohammed. Comes out wide to Binyam Aiten. And there'll be question marks on whether that was an offside. It looked quite close. Quite close on Binyam Aiten. A release from Ame Mohammed and Hawassa easily could have been in trouble here.
Well, good control there. And at this point, the ball is being released. Aiten is still onside. And that's a very, very poor call there from Mustafa Muki, the second assistant on the far end. There was no offside call on number 70, Binyam Aiten.
Oh, that was a big decision. But here comes Emmanuel Gobena. He's got the power and the pace. Tries to bring another one into the area. This time it's a bit too high. It will be very, very disappointing then. I'm sure Fasil Kenema is very happy and he's suddenly still having a word with the fourth official. There is no way Binyam Aiten was offside. What an opportunity for him then to face Dagim Tepera. Another bad call.
Oh, that's a bad one. Denying an opportunity for Binyam Aiten to at least strike.
Now, long one looking for Tebare Kefemo out wide, closely tracked by Million Solomon. Efrem Ashamo. Wondi Margen almost running into the area, stopped by Thomas Simrejo. Tebarek again. Wondi Margen. Can't find anyone in blue in and around that box to give the ball to Aiten as well, gets himself a throw in. Oh, what a chance. What an opportunity then. Finally following to Adama. We've got to look at that offside again. How close was that? That wasn't close at all. That probably should have been spotted by Mustafa Meki. Ame Mohammed. Gobena. Return ball. Not wide. Chance to try and keep this one in. That is not possible. Hawassa have had to defend for a good spell of the game. Adama have gotten their chances. They simply have not converted. As we look at this huge call again. Binyam Aiten was looking through. This is Ame Mohammed. And right there he's going to release him. Abdisa Jamal, I think it's Abubakar Wondimu who is actually offside. But Binyam is onside.
Absolutely. Is he interfering with play? No. The ball was not really heading to him. And that opportunity to score should have stood.
Simrejo struggling for fitness, but he's up and fine. Should do well as we get closer and closer to the 80th minute here. Still no goals between Adama and Hawassa Ketema. Zerai Muno still holding Fasil Kenema, who has a man's advantage here. That red card to Muhammad Muntari, the key to this fixture. Premashamo as well to get it past Million Solomon. Defender doing better to clear his lines. Wondimu. Okay. Give it a chance to advance by Wondi Margen Marik. Yes, I'm leaving, but I'm leaving with you. We both can leave the ball behind. Knotted into the area. The big one looking for Abdisa Jamal. They're having so many of those long balls and they simply have not worked. They got to change tact in the final few minutes. And maybe right to say they really haven't utilized the man's advantage up to now.
They haven't. And they're trying to play those balls just right too close to the goalkeeper with those long balls. The best way to go about this is to try and invite the opponent into one area, juke them that you want to play short passes, and then at that moment bring those long diagonal passes where you'll always find either the man on the ball right now, Abubakar Wondimu, or Ame Mohammed on the opposite side of the divide.
They're doing well to find Tebakemo. But Wondi Margen for support ahead of him. Tebarek has continued with a run into the area. Tebarek strikes it towards the goalkeeper, but not so much power behind it. Suddenly a half chance for Hawassa Ketema. And if they scored now, they probably would be wrapping this one up.
from Wandi Magen Hailu to find his way around Johannes. Comes down. You know that he's on a yellow card. This youngster is going to have a very bright future. As we look at Hawassa making another substitution, looking to withdraw Ephraim Mashamo. Bring on Segab Johannes. A defensive change being made by Zerai Mulu. Takes out an attacker and brings on a to try and wrap this game up. Seems to be happy with the draw as we go into the final 10 minutes then. Kenene is a former Adama player. There is a couple of disagreements now involving him and Johannes. As a face stands at a distance. The referee is watching everything. This Tesfaye is the player coming in alongside Adi Salem Tesfaye as well. You can be very sure there will be a yellow card here probably. This has been with some of the performances of emotions by some of those midfielders in there, and she's won a couple of those before, including Joseph Johannes, who's already on a yellow card. And it goes to Bekalu Genene, the former Adama midfielder.
Some things are really unnecessary. They are really, really, really unnecessary. The coach has been called in also, the right Molo.
Also been a card given to that Hawassa bench. Biruk behind him. Oh. Come on, Biruk. You didn't get the ball when you were playing. Get the card then. Now you picked up your card when you go back to the bench. No one is safe in the BetKing Ethiopian Premier League.
In whose hands are we safe?
It's been here, trying to come forward. It's been picked up by Wadi Magen. Long one coming, looking for Adama Ketema. Closely tracked by Adi Tesfaye. And that is a foul on Tebarek. This will have to be very, very careful. In this kind of spaces, sometimes the referee thinks of a card. Because if Adama Ketema had made his way through, then he would have a chance to cross one into an empty box. Picking up a yellow card, looking to create a crucial winner here. Knocks one into the box. The Salem jumps, goes out wide as far as Joseph Johannes. To that moment of the game where one simple mistake could suddenly separate these two sides. Still no goals. We haven't seen many of fixtures that way. Almost every other fixture in the BetKing Ethiopian Premier League has had a goal or two. This one simply has had drama in terms of a red card to Muhammad Montari earlier on in the first half. Johannes, part of the action as this is struck from distance. Great power behind it. Precision from Mesfin Tafese. There'll be so many tired legs out there, Gilbert, now, and one thing, this is when the man's advantage could count.
Yeah, it's been
the intensity has been very high. And for a team like Adama, the best thing that we'll do is utilize the one-man advantage by keeping possession. No, just make sure that Hawassa is running after the ball, tire them, and at the point where you realize that they've tired, utilize that opportunity in those spaces that they're going to create. Million. Short one per area. Manuel Govena looking to turn. Looking to come back to Million and suddenly bit too much behind it. Very good defensive work then from Segap Johannes. So Tekalin is looking on and wondering what he must do to have his side pick a crucial win here. They have everything going for them, but certainly not goals. Foul on Rony Market coming in from Abdissa Jamal before he let fly. The referee saw that as well. Now it's a big opportunity for Hawassa to try and come forward to confirm that. So Jamal got the shot away, forced a save from Dagim Chefera. Rony Market was to be repaid. Now here comes Dagim. Bounce past Joseph. Looking for Mesfin Chafese. There's a big chance now for him to rush into the area. He's got one to beat. And he's forced out wide eventually. Very good defending then from Adama as Emmanuel Gobena tracks back. The lead striker had a very clear pass to try and face Jamal Tasso. Not taken. Now this one is floated into Jamal Tasso's area. Not to worry him as it has an awkward bounce and then easily goes out. That was a huge chance to Mesfin Chafese.
A huge one. I think once you're in the box, it's pointless to play the ball all the way back. But just hold on to this ball. Try and keep the distance between the ball and the opponent.
Nami Muhammad to surprise everyone, including Segab Johannes. So much space between him and Dagim Jefera's goal, but Muhammad was looking to test out the substitute goalkeeper. Good attempt, but then the one simply not kept on target.
Has really been solid defensively for this Adama side.
Abdissa again. Gobena was joining in on the action. Mesfin Chafese has picked it up. They have comfortably gone past Joseph Johannes. Kebarek is one of the options. The goalkeeper is in no man's land, but suddenly keeps his camp. Jamal Tasso comes forward and then launches to Ahmed Muhammad. What a pass then. It comes out wide. Looking for options with Binyam Aiten. Through the center. Joseph Johannes trying to get it past Segab Johannes. That simply did not work out. Thomas Simred who has an extra touch. Edhan Birhane has another. Nabubeka Wondimu will let this one roll out. Because the Adama still have the ball inside the Hawassa Ketema half. That is how they would run to wrap up this game. Huge chance now for Hawassa, but they will still have an opportunity in there alongside Fasil. And obviously you've got St. George at the top, but just how bad is a draw then?
But it wouldn't be bad for them because currently Fasil are on 26 points but with a better goal aggregate. So a draw for Hawassa would definitely send them to 27 points in second position, just 1 point behind St. George. Adama will remain in the same position, in 6th position, but of course, while they're on 20 points on this one, 21, they will just be a point right behind Ethiopia Buna, who are on 22 points.
Right, that is part of the action that is coming on the World of Champions tomorrow, as Arbamench will take on Sebeta, and Baherja will be up against Kasai Arage. The Ethiopian Buna, picked up through the center by Joseph Johannes. Wabobeka Wondimu, who is on side. Joseph again, floating one into the area, looking for Abdissa Jamal. It's cleared by Tsegasao. They've had a chance to have another one through the center. Million Solomon quickly jumped in. Now has come to Ame Muhammad. And he's consistent out wide, looking for Gobena. Ame Muhammad under pressure from Wondi Magen. 4 minutes of additional time is all we've got. That is test by. Back to Jamal Chassor. Under pressure from Tebare Kefemo. Million. Looking to have a chance to come forward past Segab Johannes. He's got options out wide. One of those is I-10, and there's a big chance, and the flag is up now as well for the second time on I-10. Looks so close as well. Big two chances. Suddenly falling to Fasil Ketema inside, but this was the right decision.
Well, that was a close call because Medane Birhane on the far end was almost keeping him onside. And it's just the hawk-eyed referee Mustafa Meki on the far end of the field who picked it right this time.
Short defending from Addis Tesfaye. Been quite solid and maintain his starting slots. Is coming for now I-10. And Yaman slots one into the area. The goalkeeper was off his line. Medan Berhane seemed to be very sure on where this one was headed. I'm not sure Nagim Jepera was that aware. I've seen Cash scoring a goal like that when you thought the left or right back was actually trying to cross one into the area. Eventually goes past the goalkeeper. Wonder if Million Solomon was trying to do exactly the same here with just 3 minutes on the clock now. You know, we've talked about the form of both sides. We've talked about the statistics so far this season. But the feeling is that Serai Molo will be the happier of the two managers if Hawassa can pick a point here, surprisingly.
He will. And, you know, he's picking a point with his key goalkeeper on the terrace and playing with one man less for more than 70 minutes. That's a huge, huge plus for the coach of Serai Molo's caliber. Because it will have a dent on the Adama side because they have gone more than 8 matches with draws. Winning only 4 and losing 2.
The substitute goalkeeper now seems to be struggling. Tefera forcing Serai Molo into looking for his bench. Gimbo is the other player. The goalkeeper on that bench. Maybe we shall have a player quickly switching shots from blue to green. As it stands, Hawassa will be happy to wrap this one up. Time is surely running out. Serai Molo does know it. And he's had to play more than 3/4 of this game, a man less. And how good have his side been? For Adama and Fasil Ketema, they will look at this as a huge missed chance. They still continue with their good run. Only one loss in their last 7 fixtures. Actually make that 8. This one being the 9th. That loss against Mekele Kaya. There's been a couple of big draws against Sidama, St. George, Arbaminch, and of course Ethiopian Buna. And if they pick one against Hawassa, I'm not sure many in central Ethiopia will be really unhappy with Fasil Ketema, a man came to a side that had finished bottom of the standing last season. Nagim Tefera goes into Lydia Tafese's book. What you're looking at, 2 red cards up in the stands for Hawassa Ketema. For Fasil, obviously, you look at the results they have had more recently. You get to think that draw here is again not the worst of results. We just made one change ahead of today's game. We'll follow that victory against Mekele Kaya with a draw against Adama. And for Fasil, you will follow that 3-1 victory over Bredawa with a draw against Hawassa today. As all eyes now turn to Lydia Tafese to wrap this game up. Because the 4 minutes are up. Jamil. Abdisa just sit down. Lost to Tsegab Johannes. Kalugenene had a touch. This is Wondi Magen finding Messi interface. Trying to go faster. Thomas Simretu. Who has 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Here in Dradawa, seems to be his home ground in many ways. He's done so well with the Hawassa Ketema, who of course have won the BetKing Ethiopian Premier League twice before. Abdisa goes up against Wondi Magen. Been picked up by emama through the center, stopped by Adi Salem Tesfai. And big chance from Lydia to face it, give them a free kick, and sure this will be their last chance of the game. But not before everyone is up on their feet. Sekalin is now hoping beyond hope. This surely will be his side's final chance. And everyone, I mean everyone, apart from Jamil Yacob, now has come forward. William has also stayed back. This could be their final chance. Thrown in by Adama Ketema. One more chance. Lydia Tafes is giving them one more. And could they get the winner? How dramatic suddenly would this one be? It's a long one. Looking for Gobena. Bisa Jamal going down in the box. And a big chance in the final minutes. And the flag is up. Originally, a huge opportunity. But Abe Muhammad, it seems, is the player who was in an offside position. And surely,
this is it. This is it. Just a golden opportunity. 1 second to the clock. You have numbers in the box. Be a little bit more patient.
And there is the full-time whistle then. Hawassa Ketema and Adama Ketema are sharing the spoils in Jedawa. A battle between the central and the south in the east has ended without goals. A red card and suddenly shared spoils. You can look at the table and make of it what you may. Who will be the happier of the two? Fasil Kenema or Zerai Mulu. As we look at the Hawassa players in a bit of a celebratory mood, they felt they have played most of the game a man down. And for Adama, it is an opportunity they simply have not taken. They should have scored not once but twice. And at full time, Hawassa and Adama have shared the spoils at 0-0.
ተመልካቾቻችን የ15ኛው ሳምንት የመጀመሪያ ቀን ሁለተኛ ጨዋታ ሐዋሳ ከተማ ከአዳማ ከተማ ጨዋታቸውን 0-0 በሆነ ውጤት አጠናቋል። በመጀመሪያው 45 ደቂቃ ግብ ጠባቂያቸውን በቀይ ካርድ ያጡት ሐዋሳዎች ይህንን ጨዋታ አንድ ነጥብ ተጋርተው መውጣት እንደ ትልቅ ስኬት ተደርጎ ሊቆጠርላቸው ይችላል። በአዳማ በኩል የፊት መስመር ተጫዋቹ ዳዋ ሆቴሳ የገጠመው ጉዳት መደበኛው አልቻለም። ምክንያቱም ወደ ፕላን ሆኖ የምትሄደው ያለ አማራጭ በ18ኛው ደቂቃ ይመስለኛል ብዙ በቀይ ካርድ መውጣቱ እንደገና አንድ ሰው ከማል ቀንሰን ነውና ማል ላይ እንደፈለገ መጫወት አልቻለም። ባገኘናቸው ረጃጅም ኳሶች ለመሄድ ነው ያሰብነው። ዞሮ ዞሮ ያው አንድ ነጥብ ምክንያቱም ደረጃውን ይዘን እንድንቆይ ስለሚያደርገን ሁለተኛ አማራጫችን ጎላችንን ጠብቀን ግን በምናገኘው ኳስ ለመሄድ ነበር ያሰብነውና
በውጤት ደረጃ መጥፎ አይደለም ግን እንቅስቃሴያችን በአጠቃላይ በካርዱ ተበላሽቶብናል ማለት ይቻላል
ምናልባት የተለመደው አሰራር አንድ ተጫዋች ሲወጣ ሊቀየረው አጥቂ ነበር አብዱልባሲት ነው ቀየራቸው ያስወጣችሁት ምክንያቱም ምን
አው የነሱ አይተ እንደሆነ በረጃጅም ኳሶች ነው መምጣት የሚፈልጉት ስለዚህ በንክኪ የሚጫወት የሚወጣ ሚድፊልድ የለም ስለዚህ ዛጋውን ዲፌንስ ሚድፊልደሩ ማስቀመጡ ለኛ ጥቅም የለውም ረጃጅም ኳሶች ስለሚጫወቱ በሶስት ዲፌንስ ለመጫወት የነሱ ረጃጅም ኳሶች ለማቆም ከዛ ውጭ እኛም በመናገኘው ቶሎ በመሄድ ነው ኦፌንሲቭ ሚድፊልደር ነው ወደ ዲፌንስ ሚድፊልደር የቀየር ነውና እዛ ጋር እነሱ ኦፌንሲቭ ሆኖ የሚጫወቱ አደጋ ቢፈጠር ነገር ስላልነበረው የኛ ዲፌንስ ሚድፊልደሩ ማቆየት ትርጉም ስለሌለው ስለዚህ በሁለት ነገር ነው ያሰብነው አንደኛ ባገኘነው አጋጣሚ ስኮል ለማድረግ ነው አጥቂ ያልቀየር ነው ሁለተኛ መሃል ላይ ደግሞ በዛ ባልኩ መንገድ ስላልተጫወቱ ለኛ የሚከብድ ነገር ስላልነበር ነው ወደዛ አማራጭ ውስጥ የገባነው
ዘራይ ሙሉ የውድድር ዘመኑ የመጀመሪያ መጨረሻ ላይ ነው ወይም 15ኛው ሳምንት ላይ እስቲ ገምግምልኝ የመጀመሪያው ዙር ምን ይመስላል እንደ ቡድንም አጠቃላይ ነው
ኦኬ አንደኛ ዙር ያው በቲማችን ብዙ ነገር የነበረበት ነው ቲማችን ወጥ ሆኖ በመጣበት ሰዓት ዛሬ ያ ነገር የተፈጠረውና መከላከያ ላይ የነበረው ትንሽ እንቅስቃሴያችን በዚህ በሁለቱ ጨዋታ ላይ እንደፈለግነው አልሆነም ምክንያቱም በረጃጅም ኳሶች በሚመጡ ቲሞች ትንሽ ክፍተቶች ይታዩብናል እሱ ላይ ጠንክረን መስራት አለብን ከዛ ውጪ ግን እንደ ውጤት ያገኘነው ውጤት ለድሬዳዋ ላይ እጅግ በጣም ጥሩ ነው ምክንያቱም ደረጃችንን አስጠብቀን ቢያንስ ሁለተኛ ደረጃ ይዘን እየሄድን ያለነውና ከዛ አንፃር እጅግ በጣም ጥሩ ነው ያንን ነው የምናስበውና ዞሮ ምናልባት የዲቻ ውጤት እስከሚታወቅ ድረስ ቦታችን ሁለተኛ ነው ብዬ ነው ማምነውና በሁለተኛ ዙር ብዙ ክፍተቶቻችንን አርመን ጠንክረን እንመጣበት ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበውና አንደኛ ዙር በተለይ ድሬዳዋ ላይ ወጥ አቋም ያሳየንበት ነው ብዬ ነው ማስበው ሐዋሳ ላይ ገባ ወጣ እንል ነበር ድሬዳዋ ላይ ግን ወጥ ሐዋሳ ከነማ ጠንካራ ሐዋሳ ከነማ ነው ለማየት ይችላል
አመሰግናለሁ አሰልጣኝ የፕሪሚየር ሊጉ የመጀመሪያ ዙር የመጨረሻ ጨዋታዎች የተካሄዱ ይገኛሉ የዛሬውን ውጤት ተከትሎ ሐዋሳ ከተማ 27 ነጥቦችና 5 የግብ ክፍያዎችን በመያዝ ሁለተኛ ደረጃ ላይ ይቀመጥ ሆኗል ፋሲል ከነማ ዛሬ ማሸነፉን ተከትሎ 26 ነጥቦችን ይዟል 13 የግብ ክፍያ አለው ሶስተኛ ደረጃ ላይ ተቀምጧል ወልቂጤ ከተማ በ20 ነጥብ 7ኛ ባህር ዳር ከተማ በ19 ነጥብ 8ኛ ደረጃ ላይ ተቀምጦ ይገኛል ኢትዮጵያ ቡና 19 ነጥቦችን ሰብስቦ 9ኛ ሆኗል እንዲሁ ሰበታ ደግሞ 14 የግብ ዕዳና በ8 ነጥብ የመጨረሻው 16ኛ ደረጃ ላይ ተቀምጦ ይገኛል ምናልባትም በዚህ ጨዋታ የማሸነፍ ተስፋ የነበረው አዳማ የቁጥር አድቫንቴጆችን አልተጠቀመም ምክንያቱም ምን ይሆናል
እንግዲህ ያው ተቃራኒው ጊዜ ጎዶሎ ሲሆን አንተ ጋር የቁጥር ብልጫ ያለው ቡድን ትክክለኛ መሆን ያስፈልጋል በረፍትም የተነጋገርነው ያንን ነው የቁጥር ብልጫ ስላለን ያው ሜዳ ላይ ነፃ ሰው እየፈለግን ለመጫወትና ትግስተኛ ሆነን ለማጥቃት ነበረ ግን አልተሳካም ያው ያሰብነውና የተነጋገርነው ሜዳ ላይ ግን እያረግን የነበረው ሁለቱ ይለያያል በጣም ትግስት ኖሮን ቢሆን የምንፈልገውን ጎል ማግባት እንችል ነበር ብዬ አስባለሁ
ከ15 የመጀመሪያ ዙር ጨዋታ 9 አቻ ምን ያሳያል
እንግዲህ ያው ብዙም እሱን አላስበውም በጣም የሚያስጨንቀኝ ሜዳ ላይ ምንድነው ጠንካራ ጎናችን ምንድነው ድክመታችን የሚሆነው ለማሸነፍ በብዙ ጨዋታ ላይ ብልጫ እየወሰድን ለማሸነፍ ያጣነው ነገር ምንድነው እሱን ነው ማሰብ የምፈልገው እዛ ላይ እንግዲህ ለሁለተኛው ዙር ያሉብን ክፍተቶች እዛ ላይ ሰርተን በደንብ እንመጣለን ወደ ድሬዳዋ ከመጣን በኋላ የተሻለ ቡድን ሜዳ ላይ ነበረን ያንን ግን ወደ ውጤት መቀየር ይጠበቅብናል
ሁለተኛው ዙር ላይ የተጫዋቾች ዝውውር መስኮት ይከፈታል እንዲሁም ደግሞ መልካም ነገሮች ይኖራሉ የመጀመሪያው ዙር ግምገማችሁ ምን ይመስላል
እንግዲህ ዛሬ ነው የጨረሰን ምን ነበር ምንድነው ባለኛው ዙር ምንድነው ያሰብነው ምን አግኝተናል ምን አጥተናል በትክክል ቡድናችን ደካማ ጎኑ ምን ነበር ጥንካሬው ምንድነው የሚለው በደንብ የምናየው ይሆናል እንደ ቡድን ጥሩ ቡድን ሜዳ ላይ አለ ግን ያንን ወደ ውጤት መቀየር እስካልቻልን ድረስ ያው የምንፈልገውን ነገር እናሳካለን ብዬ አላስብም
ለውጦች ይኖሩ ይሆን? አጭር ጥያቄ አጭር ነው። ሁለተኛው ዙር
እንግዲህ ያው እናያለን የት ጋር ነው ክፍተት ያለው የምናገኘው ሰው ምን አይነት ነው የሚለውን በደንብ አይተን ውሳኔዎችን እናሳልፋለን።
አመሰግናለሁ። ተመልካቾቻችን አሰልጣኝ ፋሲል ተካልኝ አዳማ ከተማ አሰልጣኝን ነበር የተከታተል ነው። በዛሬው ዕለት በተደረጉ ሁለት ጨዋታዎች 4 ጎሎች ተቆጥሯል። ፋሲል ከነማ 4-0 ድሬዳዋ ከተማን ያሸነፈበት የ15ኛው ሳምንት የመጀመሪያ ጨዋታ ነበረ። ያለፈው ዓመት ሻምፒዮኖቹ ፋሲል ከነማ ወደ አሸናፊነት የተመለሱበት እንዲሁም ደግሞ ሽመክት ጉብሳ 2 ጎሎችን ያስቆጠረበት ጨዋታ ነበረ። የዕለቱ የጨዋታ ሂደት ምን ይመስላል የሚለውን በምስል እንከታተላለን። ድሬዳዋ በመቀመጫ ከተማው ወጥ አቋም ማሳየት አልቻለም። በተከታታይ አቻ ውጤት እንዲሁም ማሸነፍና መሸነፍ የታየበትን ውጤት አስመዝግቧል። ይህም ጨዋታ ፋሲል ወደ አሸናፊነት የተመለሰበት፣ ድሬዳዋ ደግሞ ተከታታይ ሽንፈት ያስተናገደበት ነው። ከአዳማ ከነማ ሽንፈት በኋላ ሌላ ሽንፈት አስተናግዷል። አስገራሚው ሁለቱም ሽንፈት ላይ በአጠቃላይ 7 ጎሎች የተቆጠሩበት ቡድን ሆኗል። የድሬዳዋ ቡድን ሽመክት ጉብሳ ወደ ጎል አስቆጣሪነት በዚህ ውድድር ዘመን የተመለሰበት የተከላካዮች እርግጠኛ አለመሆንና የውህደት ችግር ወይም ደግሞ የኦርጋናይዜሽን ክፍተት የመጀመሪያው ጎል እንዲቆጠር ምክንያት ሆኗል። ይሄኛውም ሁለተኛው ጎል ኦኪኪ ወደ ጎል የቀየረበት መንገድ የግብ ጠባቂውና የተከላካዮች አለመናበብ አስገራሚ ጉዳይ ነው። የፊት መስመር አጥቂ ተጫዋቹ ኦኪኪ ደስታውን የገለጸበት መንገድ በጣም አስደናቂ ሆኖ የተነገረ ሆኗል። ለአጼዎቹ ወይም ደግሞ ለሻምፒዮኖቹ ፋሲል ከነማ 3ኛ ጎል ሆኖ የተቆጠረው በዚህ መንገድ ነው። የጨዋታው ልዩነት ፈጣሪ እንዲሁም ደግሞ የጨዋታው አንቀሳቃሽ ከነበሩ ተጫዋቾች መካከል በረከት ደስታ አንደኛው ነው። ኳሱን ያመጣበት መንገድ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ሽመክት ወደ ጎል የቀየረበት አጋጣሚ አስደናቂ ጉዳይ ሆኗል። በድሬዳዋ በኩል የተገኙ የግብ ዕድሎች በጣም ጥቂት ነበሩ። እነኛንም ወደ ግብ መቀየር አልተቻለም። ደካማ ድል ፈጠራና እንዲሁም ደግሞ ደካማ አካሄድ ነበር። በረከት ግን በተለየ መልኩ ፋሲል 4ኛ ጎል እንዲያስተናግድ አድርጓል። ከጥቂት ደቂቃዎች በፊት የተጠናቀቀው የአዳማና የሐዋሳ ጨዋታ በኢንተርናሽናል እንስት አርቢትር ሊዲያ ታፈሰ የተመራ ጨዋታ ነበር። 0-0 በሆነ ያቻ ውጤት ተጠናቋል። የአንድ ተጫዋች ቁጥር ብልጫ አዳማዎች ቢያገኙም ነገር ግን ያንን መጠቀም አልቻሉም። ሐዋሳ ያቻነቱን ውጤት ፈልገው ይህንንም አሳክተው ወጥቷል። በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡም 2ኛ ደረጃ የያዙበትን አጋጣሚ ማስጠበቅ ችሏል። በቀሪ ጨዋታዎች የሚመዘገቡ ውጤቶች ምናልባትም ወደ ሌላ አጋጣሚ ሊሄድ ይችላል። ሞንታሪ በጣም አስገራሚ አጋጣሚ ነው። ዳዋ ሆቴሳ በ14ኛው ሳምንትን በተመሳሳይ እንዲሁ ጠባቂ ኳስ በእጅ አስነክቶ ያስወጣበት ሂደት ዛሬም ሞንታሪን በተመሳሳይ መልኩ ያስወጣበት አጋጣሚን መፍጠር የቻለ የአዳማና የኢትዮጵያ ብሔራዊ ቡድን የፊት መስመር ተጫዋች ሆኗል። ነገም የ15ኛው ሳምንት ጨዋታዎች ቀጥለው የሚካሄዱ ይሆናል። 10 ሰዓት ላይ አርባ ምንጭ ከተማ ከሰበታ ከተማ እንዲሁም ደግሞ ምሽት ባህር ዳር ከተማ ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና የሚያደርጉት ጨዋታ የመጀመሪያው ዙር የመጨረሻ ጨዋታዎች ይሆናሉ። ሁለተኛው ቀን ላይ ይደረጋል። ነገ እስክንገናኝ ድረስ ለዛሬው ሰናይ እሁድ ሌሊት።
Get ready for the revolution.
Revolution will be televised.
The winner! You're still dreaming. It's passion over everything.
You are so bad.
Listen about heroes who get to go on adventures
defeat the monster, and save the day.